or visit kmbz.com. All of us on 96.
KFMC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Chiefs will be under center on first down with Kareem Hunt behind Mahomes. They fake to him. Mahomes off play action. Moving to the right, he'll throw it late. A flag thrown on the play, and it's incomplete. Mahomes is hurt. Mahomes is grabbing his leg. He's hurt. Mahomes taking a shot at the end of that play and is grabbing his leg.
Offense number 72, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And Ebuka Godric called for the hold. So this is going to be 1st and 20.
Kansas City is charged a timeout for the injury inside 2 minutes. Their first of the half.
Well,
not too serious.
Gardner Minshew is going to have to get ready to go and try to win this game. At 1:53 to go in the game, and the Chiefs with 1st and 20 at their own 44-yard line. And the Chiefs, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time NFL MVP, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 17 playoff wins, is down and injured and appears seriously right in front of the Chiefs bench. He is up now on his backside, but he's in a lot of pain as we view it through our binoculars.
So that there is the call from yesterday, which was the unfortunate moment in that Chiefs game yesterday, which was the end of what was the dynasty run. Right? You could have multiple dynasties under a lot of people, but that was Mitch Holthus on that call. Thought he did a great job there if you hadn't heard it already. This comes from Patrick Mahomes' Twitter handle. Don't know why this had to happen, and not going to lie, it hurts. But all we can do now is trust in God and attack every single day, over and over again. Thank you, Chiefs Kingdom, for always supporting me and everyone who has reached out and sent prayers. I will be back stronger than ever with the alarm clock. Yesterday was, to me, tough. Yesterday was a tough day as a fan of a team that I've watched my whole life, as a team that we cover. You never want to see it end like that, right? I would have been fine if it ended with like a pick or, whatever it may have been or however that wants to be. But that was a play yesterday in which 15 goes down. We hear now that he tears his ACL. Nothing will ever be as worse or as down bad as the 2012 season, obviously, with the murder-suicide and finishing 2-14 and a coach getting fired and all the drama that had gone around in that situation. But yesterday was one that stung and felt terrible because of how great it's been to the fall that became yesterday, which was Mahomes lying helpless with a torn ACL, limping off the field, and the shot that you will see when, in fact, this team does bounce back and get back into their winning ways in a year, maybe a year and a half from now, which is Mahomes being walked down the hallway into the locker room, something you don't ever want to see. I don't care who the team is. I don't care who the player is. Never fun, never great, and never something you want to watch. But yesterday was tough, dude. Yesterday was a tough day to watch that. If you're a fan, if you like sports, anything, yesterday was tough.
It was. I mean, the imagery of Patrick Mahomes walking up the tunnel is as cryptic, if you will, and as apropos as you will to the way that this thing has officially come to an end. And the dynasty, part one, and it is part one. There may be a part two. I don't know. But this part of the dynasty, this part of the era of this Chiefs team is over. And I think this is where we have come to. Obviously, every dynasty, every run, every, kind of sports moment that is good always comes to an end. And for 10, 12 years now, I've been telling everybody to enjoy the ride because you don't know when it's going to end. And we do, as Dusty said, December 14th, 2025, the dynasty is over in Kansas City. And it's okay to look at that. And it reminds me of a deep cut from Cody Johnson, who's become one of our family's favorite artists. And there's a song called The Fall. And one of the lines in that song, as he's kind of talking and singing and doing his thing, he goes, "The fall was worth the ride was worth the fall." And you know what? The fall happened yesterday, but GD, man, that ride was effing awesome. And it's the greatest ride that we've ever been on in our entire lives, right? I don't think any of us any of us have ever experienced a ride in sports like Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have given us in this first part of their dynasty. And to see it end the way that it did last night, I mean, it is kind of fitting with the way that the season has gone as well. It never really got off to a great start. You know, we talked about the Brazil game and how that thing kind of dissipated right before our eyes, and nothing really got better from there. And to see Patrick Mahomes go off, you know, with that injury really hurt a lot of people yesterday, right? Obviously him, obviously the team, obviously the fans, because we did come to the realization that all of that fun, all of that joy, all of that greatness is now put on pause. And we'll see if they're able to get it back. And the ACL injury, as you guys know, is one of those. But with Patrick Mahomes and his drive, I mean, excuse me, who else would you want rehabbing an ACL injury other than number 15? I would not be surprised if he's out there on opening day. I'm not expecting him to be out there on opening day. But if people continue to tell Patrick Mahomes, no, he can't, no, he can't, no, he can't, well, by God, he will. And he may be out there on opening day. But even still, we've got to come to a point now where we all have that moment and understanding that this thing is over and the realization that this thing has ended. And I hope the organization, too, Dusty, understands that this thing is over. Because if they don't and they try to piecemeal this thing now back together, it's only going to get worse from here. Now is your opportunity to kind of blow this whole thing up from a player perspective, and feel free to cleanse that roster and do what you need to do to flip this roster over and to move forward to start Dynasty 2.0.
Yeah, there's a few things. Obviously, eliminated from the playoffs, won't be in the playoffs since 2014.
Yeah, right.
For the Kansas City Chiefs. And you look at this game, there's a couple of things I took away from it. One is the fact that, like, you're not out of it until you're out of it. Well, you're out of it,
You're
right?
out of it, yeah.
You had to win. If you lost, you couldn't have Jacksonville, Buffalo, and Houston win. They all won.
Right.
And, you know, yesterday, as, you know, somebody, you know, who has said this 100 times, you know, there's times in life, whether it's a breakup, whether it's divorce, whether it's a family member passing away, you're going to get shattered. You're going to break into 1,000 pieces. But the best way to come back is to build it back, you know, diligently and come back stronger than you were before.
Right.
And Bobby Stroop, the calendar is it's wide open, and it just says Patrick Mahomes with an arrow through it all the way until September. So, you know, trust that guy. He's done it before. So, Bobby, you're the real MVP. And I think that when I looked at that yesterday, and I'm driving today, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what did this remind me of? And obviously, being the nerd that I am, I go straight to Game of Thrones, and I think of the Red Wedding. And yesterday was the Red Funeral. And if you don't understand what the Red Wedding was, one of the most cinematography's greatest things of all time in a TV show, which is where Robb Stark, obviously the supposed to be the new king, is, you know, supposed to marry a guy's daughter to get this land, doesn't get it, or he doesn't end up doing what he's supposed to do, marry somebody else. The guy that was supposed to be part of this, he realized it and turns on him and, you know, murders Robb Stark, kills his mother. And it's one of those things where you watch it and you just sit back and you're like, what did I just witness? Like, these are made up characters, but yet you felt that and you're like, I don't know what I just watched. I don't know the shock feel that I had. And at the end of that episode, you know, the dire wolf, which is the, you know, the emblem or the mascot of the Stark family, they kill Robb's dog, they kill him, and they swap the heads and they mock him, and they go around and they have, you know, all this stuff, and they laugh in the face of it. And yesterday, the Chargers, to me, were those people, right? Like the rains of Casimir rained down on Arrowhead yesterday.
Yep.
And Mahomes lies helpless. That dirty ass Derwin James is out there, you know, low blocking Juwan Taylor, who gets hurt on the second or third play of the game. Xavier Worthy gets hurt. Rashee Rice is getting blown up. The offensive line just continued to get injured, and defenders kept getting injured. And then Mahomes inevitably just gets out with the ACL. And the Chargers came in here and they slayed the beast and they made a mockery of it. And we watched a kingdom fall yesterday. And that's exactly what happened. And it felt like it was the Red Funeral yesterday, where it's like the Chiefs are out, Mahomes is out. A lot of people took victory laps on me, on social media, on everywhere. And as a fan of any sport, you never want to see this happen. You hate to see these type of players or anybody really get some sort of injury like that. And for some, it's fun for them. And I hope those people seek help. I hope they can find in their soul to be a better person. Some people can't change. But what can change is where this franchise is now and where it can go. We have done our research on the average time it takes for an ACL to be changed or to be fixed, 9 to 12 months. Okay, let's do it.
And
January, February, March,
September.
April, May, June, July, August, September is 9 months. Full September is 9 months. To me, I think best case scenario, at least that I'm looking at right now from glossy eyes, I would say week 5 is probably when we might see Mahomes come back in that first month of October.
Yeah, it's funny how you say that, and we all think immediately, but I also think about the drive that this guy has, and the training staff that this organization has had to get Patrick Mahomes ready to play in games in a week, right? Like they have done some magic stuff to get this guy ready to play. And you mentioned Bobby Stroop as well. He's going to be the guy that everybody talks about this offseason. I think Bobby Stroop is probably going to be one of the hottest names this offseason in football talk because everybody is going to be wanting to know how that rehab of Patrick Mahomes is going. We will see the videos. We will see the highlights of all of that training stuff. And that's why you have to be confident in this. It's not, you, me, the next guy, any of us rehabbing after a soccer injury that we suffered at Mid-America or something like that. And it's going to take us a year to get back. Patrick Mahomes probably, if you know Patrick Mahomes enough, right, he probably had surgery last night. He's rehabbing this morning. I mean, that's kind of the time clock that this is going to be on. And so the worst case scenario is he does miss some time at the beginning of next season. But if you were going to script an injury like this, now is the perfect time to kind of have that injury so you don't turn it into something that is going to be totally, a loss for next season. But, next season could be a total loss as well, for where they are and how they start and what they're going to do at the quarterback position early. So those are all things we're going to have the opportunity to unpack. I mean, you thought it was going to be, people are coming up to me and saying, well, if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, what are you going to talk about? Ha, ha, ha. I'm like, I got plenty to talk about, first and foremost. And second of all, we've got all of this now. This is going to be one of the more insane off seasons, I think, that we've seen because you now have the opportunity to do anything that you want. I got a text this morning from an executive in another sport, and it wasn't anything about how Mahomes is or anything like that. And the text was, who is the biggest trade chip that they can get the most in return for? And my answer was Trent McDuffie. And so I think this offseason right now, you have to look at any possible way, not that you didn't before, but now you have that opportunity, that golden opportunity with Mahomes being hurt, to go out there and make any move that you want and say, look, we've got to rebuild this roster. We've got to rebuild this organization. And we basically have a free year, if you will, to be able to go out and do that and flip this roster on its head because we've got to find a way to get this roster younger and more productive at a lot of different positions right now. So they've got an offseason that's going to be wild. They've got an offseason that's going to be impactful. They've got an offseason that's going to be full of moves and all kinds of craziness. And it begins today. And hopefully the rehab begins this week, for Patrick Mahomes. But, I mean, that's the way it ended, folks. Dynasty 1.0 is officially done here in Kansas City.
We'll move on to the next topic on the other side. We talk about Travis Kelce, plus we talk about the season officially being over and who the new rival is. I think you know the answer. 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is Nick Bolton, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I will tell you what, I love going to Hy-Vee, and the fact we went to Hy-Vee on a Sunday morning. Yesterday morning, we were at Hy-Vee before anybody was there. It was bright, it was early, and we did all of our shopping. We got some salmon, we got great produce from my friends over at Hy-Vee, and you know what I did yesterday? Got a lot of gas points yesterday as well. Was shopping the aisles, and then I ended up getting gas yesterday. You know what I paid for my gas yesterday? 78 cents a gallon. I filled my tank of 20 gallons for just about $15 yesterday at Hy-Vee. That's because of all of those gas points, and the Chiefs scored 13 yesterday, so you spend $13 or more today at Hy-Vee, and you'll get 13 cents off per gallon of gas. So get into any area Hy-Vee, shop the aisles, lower prices everywhere as well. Look for the extra gas saving points. They all add up. I got it for 78 cents a gallon yesterday. You can save big today, only at Hy-Vee.
What matters to you matters to us. That's why Busey Bank takes the time to understand your goals and build solutions that fit your story. From everyday banking to long-term planning, our team is here to help you navigate every stage with care and expertise. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbor, your advisor, and your advocate. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From sportswear to suits and sports coats in sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
Thanks for calling the Holiday Gift Line from the Missouri Lottery. If you still have presents to buy, don't panic. Missouri Lottery holiday scratchers and draw games are perfect for everyone on your list 18 and over. And you don't even need a gift receipt. Happy holiday gifting from the Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit Tremfya.com.
Extra, read all about it.
This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. The Federal Reserve just dropped interest rates again, and that means you can save even more money on your mortgage. If you've been waiting for the right time to refinance, this is it. Our customers are saving hundreds, even thousands every month. What could you do with an extra $1,000 every month? You can also pull cash out of your home's equity to pay off credit cards, do home improvements, or just get ahead. If you refinance now, you can make no payments until next year. And if your loan doesn't close, we'll even pay for your appraisal. But don't wait. Rates can rise again anytime, and they change fast. For today's rate, call Golden Oak Lending now at 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS number 114937.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Guys, you've heard of TRT, but you have no idea what testosterone can do for you. Once you start treatment, you'll wish you'd done it sooner. All the guys I know go to Synergen X and Low T Center for their TRT needs. The TRT test is free, not hundreds of dollars. The test is pure, not compounded. Guys feel full of energy, not like they're still waiting for it to kick in. So get in now for your free TRT test. No appointment necessary before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for client betrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
On the Missouri side, 35 southbound from Missouri 152 into downtown is a 12-minute trip. I-70 westbound from 470 into downtown, 15 minutes. Kansas side 70 eastbound from 435 to 670 is an 11-minute drive. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Stats are always interesting in sports. I'm sure you all saw the Tom Brady comparison yesterday.
Of course, yeah.
Just to bring it into perspective,
Yep.
Tom Brady in NFL Season 8 going for his 4th ring, lost in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes in his NFL 8th season goes for his 4th ring, loses in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady in his 9th season tears his ACL. The team missed the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes in his 9th season tore his ACL, and the team missed the playoffs. Coincidence?
I think not.
Yeah. So always, no matter what the situation seems to be, there's always the Mahomes-Brady comp.
There really is, and it's interesting because the Mahomes injury, or the Brady injury, obviously happened right at the beginning of the season. We know that. We were involved, and it led to Matt Castle, which led to the downfall of the Chiefs, which in turn led to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes being here in Kansas City. You see how I peeled back the onion on that one, right? Because that's essentially what happened. I mean, if Tom Brady doesn't get hurt that year, do we ever hear about Matt Castle, right? Do the Chiefs ever hire Scott Peel? Who knows what happens if that whole situation goes south? But, I mean, that's going to be an important move, I believe, this offseason to find out who that guy is going to be, that bridge guy for Patrick Mahomes, right? Are they going to stick with Gardner Minshew, or are you going to go out and get a quarterback like, as you kind of joked yesterday, Phillip Rivers, for the first 5 games of the season? Hey, Alex, you busy? You got some time for the first 5 weeks? Phillip just came out of retirement and did it, or whatever the case, and however long it's going to be. But I mean that is a real conundrum going into this offseason. For the first time since Andy Reid has taken over this franchise, guys, we're going into a season wondering what the starting quarterback situation is going to be. Because the minute he got here, they made the trade, for Alex Smith, and then obviously they drafted Patrick Mahomes. We've got an unknown at the quarterback position going into the 2026 season. I'm going to be interested to see how they solve that, how they attack the quarterback position, and what they ultimately want to do, and how much stock they're going to put into Patrick Mahomes being back for next season. So that'll be real interesting to see how they handle that quarterback situation, because I don't know about you guys. Like, is Gardner Minshew the guy you want to line up with in the first 5, 6, 7 games, whatever it's going to be, going into next season? Or do you rather have them go out there and make some sort of move to get a quarterback in here that could be better and help you for the first month and a half of the season?
Yeah, and just send Karlaftis and McDuffie to Cincinnati for Joe Burrow.
So for Joe Burrow, I mean, would you hate that trade? And I was thinking about that. I'm not going to lie. I thought about that a little bit yesterday about like what some of these moves that you could potentially make. And I said, Joe Burrow, I wonder what it would take to get Joe Burrow. Would you trade Joe Burrow, and 3 first-round draft picks to get him in here to Kansas City? But I'm anxious to see how they
trade
are.
Patrick Mahomes?
Well, that's what was going to be my next step. Would you trade Patrick Mahomes as well, this offseason, knowing that he's injured, obviously.
He's 2 years older and he's injured.
Yep. And,
Joe Burrow, a lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries with Joe Burrow, with him as well. But, I think any team right now would be willing to trade for Patrick Mahomes, even though he is injured, because he's still just about better than anybody else in the NFL at this point in time. What you would get in return, I have no idea what you would get in return, for a guy like Patrick Mahomes. But for the first time, guys, since Andy Reid has taken over this franchise, we have to make a decision at what to do at quarterback. It's been something that's been there for us all along. We've had it easy when the quarterback position, has come into question here under Andy Reid. But now they're going to have to, put some decision-making, put their thinking caps on and figure out what they want to do and for how long they're going to need somebody, because with these injuries, you just don't know. I mean, hopefully by the time free agency rolls around the beginning of March, middle of March, we'll have an idea of kind of the schedule that Patrick Mahomes is on to return, and that's going to dictate what they do at that quarterback position as well.
Yeah, the answer's on the text line.
Okay.
A lot of the text line thinking the same thing.
Jameis Winston.
Oh,
you want to have some fun?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, you want to have some fun?
Win or have fun, but
yeah. Go 3-2 in the first 5 weeks. Let Mahomes come back and rain terror on the NFL, because yesterday was the exclamation mark to the end of the season. It is officially over. Some of you might have had this season over a while back, but I had said since they lost that Denver game, I was like, I don't know, man. This just doesn't feel like that team. They did end up beating Indianapolis in overtime, but again, they have now lost 5 of their last 6 in this season. Just an overall horrible season for the Kansas City Chiefs, of where they are, who they have, what they've had, where they've been, what they've done, what they've accomplished. You can't win it every year. I understand that, but you should, with what you have at quarterback and Well, you would think you have a head coach. You would think that you should be at least in the playoffs every single year. You're not this year. Obviously, the news yesterday is that Mahomes has torn his ACL, 9 to 12-month recovery. But again, I think Mahomes will be back. I think he's going to be a Chief for the rest of his life. I don't think they're ever going to move on from Patrick Mahomes, at least in my heart of hearts, in my mind. I think that's, just some people might have that irrational thought because of the, catastrophic feel that you have from yesterday. But I do believe in Bobby Stroop. I do believe in Patrick Mahomes. I do believe that he'll get back on the field sometime next year. When that will be, I don't know. But look, this has happened before. We've seen Peyton Manning get injured and miss time. We've seen Tom Brady obviously, lose his ACL against the Chiefs. And come back and be just as strong. But, I mean, look, he's got to get healed, and you've got to protect him. And the man put the entire franchise on his back all season long. In fact, the last 4 years, basically, or 3 years in retrospect, and it broke him. That's exactly what happened. All that weight on his back eventually finally, blew his knee out. And we will see that image for a while of him walking into the locker room with the help of the coaches around him, limping on that left knee. But again, I believe in Patrick Mahomes. I believe in the competitor that he is and the help that he'll have in Bobby. And I think they'll get back. And good luck when they come back, because all of you people that took victory laps of a man being injured and laying helpless on the field.
That's pathetic, quite honestly.
Yeah, you're just small.
Yeah, scumbags. Okay. Yeah.
And I hope you know what? You get what you asked for. Yeah. And I don't think there's anybody in the league right now that is more excited to probably play immediately than Patrick Mahomes, as weird as that might sound.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But I think also, too, anytime you get bad news, you have to think about, what you can do to kind of turn this into a positive. I'm not going to sit here and try to be Harry High School this morning and, hey, let's make this a positive, effect, because that's not the way anybody's feeling today, and that wouldn't be the right way to go about doing it. But what it does do for you, and let's just say Jameis Winston is that guy that comes in here next year, which, God, I would be in heaven. I really would. It would be the greatest thing ever to have Jameis Winston here in Kansas City. And I think Jameis Winston would be on a plane in a second to come out here to Kansas City and be, kind of Patrick Mahomes' understudy going into next season and the starting quarterback. Please do not bring Russell Wilson in here. Okay, I will tell you that right now. I know if you're looking for a stopgap, Russell Wilson seems to be that guy. He's better on TV than he is on the field. Please do not bring Russell Wilson in to Kansas City. But give me Jameis Winston. But also what you're going to have to do now is you've got the opportunity to go out there and really expand this roster and really grow this roster with pieces around whoever that new quarterback is going to be for the start of next season. And then in turn, they can be here for Patrick Mahomes as well. Because I think what we all still realized at the end of this season when it all came, crashing to a halt yesterday is that we just have to upgrade these weapons around Patrick Mahomes. And that's part of my problem too. I envisioned him, as that Tom Brady guy, just give you anybody and he's going to make everybody better. Not everybody's Tom Brady. Patrick has done an unbelievable job with it, but this league is completely different too than when Tom Brady played in it. The defenses weren't as fast and as athletic and just as good as they are right now, and that's the Chiefs' fault. They created this offense. Everybody created defenses to try to stop them, and so now you're caught up. So this is an opportunity now for this offseason to not live with blinders. You have got the blinders off now on the offseason. It's like family members, right? When you start to date somebody, you don't really know much about their family, and then Jen meets my parents for real, and then it's like, oh my God, what just happened here? But now you've got the opportunity to get deep down into this thing, take the blinders off, look at the entire picture, and really evaluate everything and not just keep people around because you think they can help or they may be good or you're trying to piecemeal this thing together for a fourth straight Super Bowl. This is an opportunity to do a lot of purging. This is an opportunity to do a lot of cleansing. And this is an opportunity to really reset your roster to get the best pieces in here to help whoever is going to be quarterback to start next season. Because even if it is a Patrick Mahomes, he's still going to be dealing with that knee injury. We know how it is with ACLs. It takes 2 full years for people to be in the right mindset and come back. So you have an opportunity here now to grow your roster with talent and go out there and get the best talented players available, because you're going to need those guys next year to maybe accentuate the quarterback at the beginning of the year, or even Patrick Mahomes when he comes back on that ACL.
Mac, I'm interested to know what your take is, because I was at the stadium when Mahomes did the QB sneak and the kneecap slid to like his calf.
That was nasty.
You were there yesterday with family. Obviously, I believe mom and brothers and all that.
Mom, brother, best friend, yep.
And what was the vibe?
Man, it was terrible. It was awful. It sucked. I knew.
Is it the quietest Arrowhead's ever been?
It was extremely quiet.
Did people leave as soon as that happened?
No, the Gardner Minshew interception, just a few plays later. I think most of us were I was not even watching the Minshew through. My head was literally down. I did not care. I heard people talking about, like, let's go win this game. I was like, I don't really care about this
let
game.
me ask
I don't
you this.
give a rip anymore. Nothing matters.
Why were you depressed?
Well, because I knew.
I
knew when he went down. He was
the
done.
AC. Were you depressed because he tore the ACL? Were you depressed that the season is over? Were you depressed that the dynasty was over?
About Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
Patrick Mahomes specifically. Yeah. The season was already over. Like, I don't care. Like, no, Patrick Mahomes. And I just went through this as a Boston Celtics fan, right? Like, I know this season's over. Oh, next season's over too now. Yeah. Because Jason Tatum. I'm doing this again with my other favorite team who eclipses the Celtics by a million miles, right, in the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't think next season's over. And I think we're talking about average recovery time. That's one of my things is 9 to 12 months. There ain't nothing average about Patrick effing Mahomes. And I've seen guys come back in 6 and 7 months. And I'm not saying he's going to do that, but we should talk about the average timeline. It's obviously more likely. But I'm just not going to put anything past Patrick Mahomes. But, yeah, it was quiet. You could hear crickets in that stadium when it happened. It felt like everyone pretty much immediately knew. And I want to shout out a couple of, obviously anecdotal evidence. I was just around a couple of Chargers fans. They were glorious the whole time, even after that injury, and they were really good people. So
Jim was great too in his post conference. Like, he didn't answer any questions until he got out the fact that he wanted to make sure Mahomes was okay and all that sort of stuff. So props to him.
Well, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a guy that's changed this league. And look, you may not be a Patrick Mahomes fan if you're listening to this show. I'm sorry for you. And you may be a fan of Denver, or you may be a fan of Buffalo. But you know what? Everybody should be a fan of what Patrick Mahomes has done for this league over these last 8 years, and the dynamic, change that he's had to this league, the offensive star power that he's been able to unleash on this league. Like, Patrick Mahomes has done so much for everybody in the NFL. Look at these TV ratings, guys. And I know that that's not the end-all, be-all, but people weren't watching the league like they are now. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have done so much to raise the Q rating of the NFL. And that's why everybody around this league who works in this league, I'm not talking about fans, but everybody who works in this league should be looking at this injury going, that sucks, because the league is not as good if Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson are not part of what's going on. We want our star players to be there. And a guy like Patrick Mahomes has changed this league globally. He has changed this league, locally. He's changed this league for a lot of people in the league. Everybody's been looking for the next Patrick Mahomes now for the last 8 years. And so if you're in this league and you work in this league, it should be a devastating day for everybody associated with employment in the NFL.
I think what Patrick Mahomes did to the league is he created a different competitive edge.
Yeah.
Because you look at the way kids were drafted after Mahomes, like, can they make the Mahomes throw? Mm-hmm. Can they do the Mahomes things? And I look at it almost as like a fantasy league, right? When you first start your fantasy league, people are like, oh, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. And there's like 2 or 3 guys in it that just smoke everybody. Mm-hmm. And then by a time, and if you're fortunate enough, like I am, you played in the league for 5, 7, 8, 9 years, 10 years almost. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, those people that do it every year are like, how come the same 3 people keep winning? This is no longer fun. I'm just wasting money. What are you guys doing that's giving you the advantage edge? Well, we start doing research in January. We start doing research in March. We start getting prepared for the draft, whether that's, you go full Binkley and go buy 16 magazines of Football Now at Price Chopper or Hy-Vee, whatever it may be. But then they start to kind of get more competitive, and all of a sudden that makes your league more fun. That made the NFL more fun. It made Josh Allen want to go out there and do it. It made New England revamp, go get Drake May, revamp their organization. It made Burrow more competitive. It made Lamar more competitive. Yeah. So, yes, you can change the way the game is played by dominating for such a long time. And now the league will see a league without Patrick Mahomes, and it's time for those guys to go out there and step it up and see what they can do now that the league is open. It also looks up at Andy Reid and Brett Veach. You don't have your star quarterback next year, right? At least for the first couple months. Let's see how good you really are, and let's see how much adversity you can take and change in the next, 6-7 months of the season.
Yeah, so, but it is an opportunity for Andy, too, as well, to change and to do some things differently.
No doubt. It is 6:30 on a Monday, so we can get into our overreaction. I will pivot to what my overreaction is, which is, guys, it may not be the day that you want to hear this, but it is a fact. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in football.
He showed it yesterday, didn't he?
Not just yesterday, the week before against Cincinnati. I know Joe Burrow kind of handed them 2 interceptions, but Allen had that 50-plus yard run or 40-yard run to kind of put the game on his back. They were down bad yesterday, dude. In New England, it was that type of game, right? Cold, snowy. New England's defense is doing it. It's like 24-7 at halftime. Boom, Buffalo wins. They're doing their thing. And where I sit today, Josh Allen lives in the penthouse suite alone, and nobody is on the second or third floor right now. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. And I'm going to tell you what, man, that comes with pressure. Because when Brady exited and Mahomes took forward, it was, okay, if you think this is your league now, you couldn't beat Brady. What could Josh Allen not do? Beat Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Well, Brady was in the league when Patrick Mahomes went on his runs. When he got all those Super Bowls, he took advantage of that. The pressure was on. Can he do it? He did it. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes ain't in the playoffs this year. Buffalo, you're rolling. You just beat New England. Pressure's on.
Yeah, it is.
And if you want to continue to be that and you want to keep that narrative, then Josh Allen, and I do believe that he is the best quarterback in football right now. He's been the best quarterback in the league all year, in my opinion, because of what he's done with his team. They're throwing to tight ends and they're running the ball with James Cook. And when they need him the most, he comes through in the most clutch moments this year at least. Buffalo Bills, that's my team that I think can win it all. Now, Josh Allen, what Mac thought would be the MVP favorite. Matt Stafford minus 300.
Minus 250, depending on where you look. Yep.
Depending on where you look. And then I believe it's Drake May and then Josh Allen.
I was surprised that Drake May still eclipsing him there.
We'll see what happens today, if they put out new odds after the Monday night game and all of that kind of stuff. But again, I look, Josh Allen has more pressure on him now than anybody. Josh Allen is now Hakeem Olajuwon. You have 2 years essentially without Patrick Mahomes. Yep. Are you going to make the most of it? And if you don't make the most of it right now, then you're never going to make it. I talked to our friend Jimmy Gaffney, big Bills fan, right? And he's texting me yesterday. He goes, I'm sorry for Mahomes. This sucks and all this kind of stuff. He goes, now the pressure's on us. And it is. I mean, there is no team and no player that is facing more pressure. I can't even, maybe ever, guys. Honest to God. I don't know that there's ever been some athlete that's been under more pressure in American professional sports than Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills right now. Because the question is, if not now, then when? And if they don't end up getting to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl this year, you may see a lot of changes in Buffalo as well from a head coaching standpoint. So they've got a lot on their plate, and they know this is up to them to go out there and win it all. What's your overreaction, Mac?
Well, and not only that with the pressure, I mean, you think about who he's going to be facing. Yeah, not Mahomes, but think about it. Bo Nix, no playoff wins. Trevor Lawrence, 1 playoff win. Justin Herbert, no playoff wins. C.J. Stroud, 2 playoff wins. Who are these other guys he's facing? I mean, I'm trying to think of the other quarterbacks.
All of them are gone. It's not just Mahomes that ain't there. Lamar's not going to be there.
Burrow's
not going to be there. This is your playoffs, Josh Allen.
100%, man. You're a man amongst boys. You need to look like it.
You need to take advantage of this.
Well, Rodgers is in there.
That's it's true. Who could fine, Rodgers. Tyler Shuck is good. Is my overreaction. The Saints don't need to look for a quarterback. I think Tyler Shuck might be solid. I think they could at least stick with him next year, see where it goes, give him some more weapons.
Can you be a quarterback in the NFL if the last name is Shuck, though?
You can if you play in New Orleans.
It's true.
If you were going to play anywhere, your last name was Shuck or Oyster.
Yeah.
Yes.
My God, you're in the bayou,
true.
baby.
It is true.
Shuck,
yeah,
baby.
but I mean, it's just I don't mean it. You know what I mean? The guy's name is Shuck. It just doesn't scream NFL quarterback, right?
It's weird. They've won 2 games in a row versus their 2 division rivals who are battling for the lead, the Bucks, the Panthers, and yesterday he played well against the Panthers. 270 yards, touchdown, 0 picks.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No, not bad at all. I'm going to try to keep it light here in my overreaction,
yes,
okay? The Royals will win a playoff game before the Chiefs. And I do mean that. The Royals will win a playoff game before the Chiefs win their next playoff game. And that's a good thing for the baseball side of things. They got, Maikel Garcia signed to his long-term deal. They're making moves all over the place this offseason. They're getting ready to announce a new stadium potentially this week. And so I think the Royals will win a playoff game as my overreaction before the Kansas City Chiefs win their next playoff game.
Is that an overreaction, though?
I don't know. I don't necessarily know that it is or it isn't, but I think today it could be considered an overreaction. But, where they're going, I just think the Royals right now are kind of have a better direction at this point in time than the Chiefs have at this point in time. And that's hard to say with Andy Reid and Brett Veach and just still Mahomes on this roster. But it just feels like right now the Royals have a straighter path than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Is it an overreaction to think that Travis Kelce's last pass will be coming from Gardner Minshew?
Nope, because I thought the exact same thing yesterday. It was unbelievable. Sad. And I thought I texted you guys this, and then Dusty put it in the document like, good Lord, oatmeal raisin all over again. But I mean, that was my initial reaction, trademark pending, was that oh my God, the last pass that Travis Kelce catches as a Chief is probably going to come from Gardner Minshew.
Because I think we kept talking last week about how you could see the signs that we think it's over. Because, again, we saw the reports yesterday that Travis Kelce did not talk to the media. He said, I think the quote was, right now is not the time.
Right.
That quote to me tells me I know why you're avoiding the media. Travis, is this it? Travis, was this your second to last game at home? Travis, do you ever go back and think like how great it was? He doesn't want to answer that right now, and more power to him.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, what's it like to never play with Mahomes again?
And when you say something like, I'm going to talk, but right now it's not the time, or if so facto, whatever you want to believe, whatever it was, I think that's the writing on the wall. And I think it is unfortunate that, we tell you this in funerals, right? Like it's not the dates on the outside, it's the dash in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you look at Travis Kelce's career, his first catch will come from Alex Smith. His last catch might come from Gardner Minshew, but it's that dash of Travis Kelce's career that you will see him as a kid growing into a man, as a legacy that will be unmatched in Kansas City to him, and the superstardom that came from his career with Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know if it's an overreaction to think that, but it is interesting to think about that.
It is.
Well.
I mean, we both had that same thought, so I'm glad we did. But I'm also wondering how many other people had that same thought as well. Like, oh my God, the last pass that this guy catches is going to be from Gardner Minshew at Arrowhead Stadium. And that's okay. It is what it is. This is how things end. This is why, you get rid of a guys a year early, right? So you don't have the ending look so bad as it looks right now here in Kansas City.
Coming up on the other side, the villain. We talk about how rivalries can be created. Might have had one start yesterday in vacation. We'll talk about all that next here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
It's 2 day. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Tune in to hear former Chiefs linebacker Derek Johnson every Monday at 7:20, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Fescoe and Dusty is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got a big week ahead of us. It's the last week of school for a lot of people before we head out to holiday break, and I want you guys to do something for me. I know a lot of the high schools got finals going on this week, and folks are really busy with all the end-of-the-year stuff, but if you're associated with any high school in the Kansas City area, it is time to get $20,000 from the Sheet Metal Workers Local Number 2 because they're back this season with their largest high school enrichment grant ever. We're talking $20,000 going towards upgrades and technology with no strings attached for one high school. This isn't a grant where everybody's going to share a little bit. It's going to one high school, $20,000 going directly to one high school. And here's what you need to do. Go to helpmymocanschool.com. That's helpmymocanschool.com. Fill out the paperwork, apply for the grant, and see what happens. At the end of the month, we're going to announce this $20,000 one-time grant towards a local high school. The Sheet Metal Workers Local Number 2 are back, so they want you to apply at helpmymocanschool.com. $20,000 in an enrichment grant, no strings attached, to a local high school at helpmymocanschool.com.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Likens. Let me tell you about my friends over at GiveMeTheVin.com because I'm sure you've got a car that you're trying to get rid of. Well, I can tell you how to do it easily with GiveMeTheVin.com because they want to buy your car, whether it is your daily driver pickup truck, SUV, minivan, supercar, or exotic. So say goodbye to dealing with all those dealerships and private sale tire kickers and get a true buy offer for your car. GiveMeTheVin.com puts your car right on the money, providing you with a hassle-free online option to sell your car for more. It's as simple as going to GiveMeTheVin.com and entering your car's VIN number or license plate number. You'll get an offer on your car in minutes. That is way above any dealer quote. You can go to one of their pickup locations or they'll even come to you. It's as easy and it's fast. GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer. Hit it, boys.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, good news! FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that's tough to beat. Right now, new customers in Missouri can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So download FanDuel today and head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement. Remember, new Missouri customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game of FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Every now and then I rinse it out, and I need Tommy Rinse
Downy Rinse fights stubborn odors in just one wash. When impossible odors get stuck in,
Rinse it out.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Brought to you by Gomer's. 5 locations in the KC Metro or online at gomers.com.
It's holiday cheers time, and Gomer's Fine Wines and Liquors is here for it. With 5 locations, a wide selection, great prices, and friendly service. Gomer's Fine Wines and Liquors, family owned and KC proud since 1969.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Trouble in downtown 70 eastbound before Main Street with an accident reporting keeping things heavy from before I-35. And I-35 is very slow as well from 670 northbound, just crawls up towards I-70. Alan Carr, 96.5 Fan Traffic.
We'll get with Derek Johnson in about 30 minutes from now as we dive into what is next for Patrick Mahomes. For those of you that don't remember, Derek Johnson ruptured his Achilles in 2016 in the month of December.
Yep,
So
December 8th.
Getting some inside information on what that, sort of process is like. I mean, he was a quarterback of a defense, not the offense, and a, big-time leader in this team. We talk rivalries, and we had talked in the past that, the Chiefs didn't necessarily have a rival in the AFC West because they had just dominated the AFC West for so many years. And we started to see some candidates last year in Denver and maybe the Chargers. The Raiders for a lot of people because of what the 70s were and maybe the early 80s as well. And when we say the recipe to a rivalry is, competitiveness and back and forth, right? That's why Buffalo, Cincinnati were kind of considered the rivalries for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
And I think yesterday, the Chargers did a really good job of taking lead of the number one rival of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
And the reason I say that is because the Chargers came into Arrowhead and filled every single void that you could to be a heel, to be a bad guy, to be a rival, whatever it may be. Whether you don't like Jim Harbaugh, whether you don't like Justin Herbert. But for me, it was the way that game went. And they came into Arrowhead, and they slayed the dragon. They cut the head off of the monster, per se, right? They had Mahomes limping off the field with the season-ending injury. They were hitting people dirty. They were going low. Derwin James was feeling the moment of being the bad guy in the field. That Jefferson guy, whatever his name is, who got kicked out of the game for lowering the crown of the helmet or whatever it was, that helmet-to-helmet contact of, defenseless. They were sticking guys left and right when it came to Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, whoever it may have been. And timing is another thing that I think can help with rivalries or, hatred in sports, because the Chiefs had to win that game. They were on life support, and the Chargers basically came in there and unplugged the cord and said, nope, you guys are done. And we're going to go ahead and take supremacy over you and sweep you on the year, beat you in week 1, beat you in week 15, your Dynasty 1.0 is over, and we'll take credit for that.
Yeah, and the Chargers, you started the season by beating the Chiefs and giving you some doubt going into the year, and you ended the season by beating the Chiefs and finishing the doubt that I think a lot of people had as it, crept in that first game. And we were celebrating, the first night of Hanukkah last night as a family, and some of the folks that we were with last night, we watched the first game with my friend Paul and his wife. And his wife, Lori, says to me last night, she goes, remember we watched that first game of the year, and we were kind of like, yeah, something just doesn't seem right, and it seems off. I'm like, I know, and it never really recovered, from there in that game down in Brazil. It was just a little off. It was just a little wanky. And, that was just a microcosm and a precursor to kind of everything that we're going to see all season long. And then you see the Chargers kind of finish it last night, which also a little bit of irony because Patrick Mahomes' first real game as a starter was against the Chargers. And that, that 4 or 5 touchdown game that kind of, in the soccer stadium to hit the ground running went, oh, and then it kind of ends with him being carried up the ramp by the doctors after a game against the Chargers. But after yesterday's game, I think you have to say now the Chargers are firmly in there as the rival. I never thought I'd say that, but you know what? I don't like them right now. And the reason I don't like them is not because they beat the Chiefs. They're dirty SOBs. And the way that they played yesterday, I think pushed the envelope a little bit too far. And that's why we saw that Jefferson guy get ejected from the game. He wasn't ejected from that hit. He was ejected because he was becoming a dangerous player out there on the field. He was impacting the game in dangerous ways. He was a detriment to what the NFL wants to do yesterday. And after the second, just destruction of a player that we saw when he was ejected after that, that hit on Thornton, it was time for that guy to leave because he was making the game dangerous for everybody else. He was not playing within the rules of that game. And when you have guys that play like that and go out there and hit, and it wasn't just him, as you mentioned, Derwin James and everybody else out there slapping everybody, around like they were yesterday, that's rivalry type status. And so when this team faces the Chargers again next year, you got to put those big boy pants on and slug those SOBs right in the face because that's what they did for you. You come at the king, you best not miss. Hate to say it, Chargers didn't miss. They hit the king right between the eyes twice this year to start the season and to end the season for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And like Dusty said, I mean, a lot of it is timing, right? So, it doesn't matter if that dragon that they slayed couldn't breathe fire anymore. Like, they're walking out of the castle with the head, right? Everyone's just like, whoa, they did it, right? You can tell the story the way you want to tell it, right? But, yeah, the Chargers did it yesterday, and they were more physical. They bullied this team. They knew that they could, right? And that's indicative of another thing that we could talk about with this team, just not really having it. They didn't want it. And the story of today is Mahomes, and that should be the story. But if it weren't for that injury, we'd be talking about this team just didn't want it. You know, they could have had that game, and they didn't want that game. Well, that's okay.
You were there, so you missed at the 8:05 mark of the fourth quarter. Let's go down to the sidelines and Melanie Collins. Melanie, what do you have for us? There's no energy down here at all, guys. Mm-hmm. That's the last note I wrote for my notes yesterday. With 8:05, Melanie Collins saying, with the game on the line, in balance, I think it may have been. Was it 16-13 at that time? Yeah, it was 16-13 at that time. You were down 3 points. That's it. Which, again, by the way, terrible interception by Mahomes. Have some sense of what's going on the field. You could have tied the game there, and who knows what could have happened, but I'm glad it's over. I really am. It needs to be over. I'm glad they lost. It's done. We don't have to sit here and pretend that they're going to be in the postseason when they're not. This thing the Band-Aid got ripped off yesterday, right? But at 8:05 to go in the game, Melanie Collins says there's no energy on the sidelines down here. And that was before the Mahomes injury. You weren't losing the football game, but that was right after the interception that he threw at the 1 yard line. And then you promptly almost gave up a 99-yard drive. You flip the field, and then you get the ball at the 10-yard line instead of getting a 3 and out and getting the ball around midfield and having the opportunity to go down. And so you go back to what we've been hearing all season long about the energy. We could never get the energy up, never get the energy up, never get the energy up all season long. That's on coaching. That's on the head coach.
100%.
Yeah, and then you had a lot of people taking the, as Karen used to call it, the Charles tweet. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Mm-hmm. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. That's good for you. But they will obviously get to have a vacation. Mm-hmm. Would you go to Cancun?
No, we can do better than Cancun. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can absolutely do better than Cancun.
You can go to Tokyo, stay, fly, and come back cheaper and go to their Disneyland than it is to go to Disneyland, Florida, by the way.
I'm not surprised about that at all. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
It is now cheaper to fly to Japan go to Tokyo Disney, get a hotel, and fly back than it is to go to Disney in Florida.
How many days are you staying, does it say?
Those are questions I can't answer.
Okay, but I'm not surprised about it all. Disney is ridiculously expensive. I don't know how families afford Disney World anymore, guys. I really don't. I mean, it is. I mean, you're talking about you're going to need a second job to pay for your trip to Disney World. And these people that go every year, how do you afford it? Like, it's unbelievable to me. That's totally what we weren't talking about. But no, you can do better. Like, go to Cabo, go to Turks and Caicos. Like, go Cancun is like high school. Go out there and you've had some successes, right? Go better than Cancun, man. Go live your life this January. And that's what I would tell them, too. And if anybody's on a plane with a member of the Chiefs after the season, ask where their playbook is or something stupid like that, you can get bent, too. But if I'm them and I'm going Turks and Caicos, I'm going to, Cabo, I'm going someplace. I'm getting out of the country, I think, at this point. Go where maybe nobody knows you,
Sanibel Island, go to the Mucky Duck, have a little dinner on the beach. Great place. Sanibel doesn't feel like it's in the United States.
I just need someplace quiet.
Yeah. You go up to the mountains and just get a cabin with the snow falling and just
100%.
bliss.
Do
quiet,
that, too? Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Sit in the hot tub, watch snowflakes dissipate as they get down there. Get a little freaky.
Exactly.
But I hope we see some good pictures of vacations. Because, look, at the end of the day, these guys have earned this, too. This last 7 or 8 years, everybody's just tired, man. Everybody's tired of each other. Everybody's tired of this season. Everybody needs a break. I think this could be, if they play it right, the best thing, because you're going to have a pick maybe in the top 10. You're 12 right now, right?
Yep.
You may have a pick in the top 10. How pissed off is the rest of the world going to be knowing that the Chiefs are picking in the top 10? Mahomes will be back at some point. But if you got a top 10 pick this year, that's the lottery ticket that you need to cash that could help you start Dynasty 2.0. That pick is going to be just as important, I think, anyway, as that Patrick Mahomes pick. Because now you can pair Patrick Mahomes with Dynasty 2.0, another top 10 pick.
Coming up on the other side, the story that is the day, the Chiefs out of the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes torn ACL, and what it means for Andy Reid and co. Coming up here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty, brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, the holidays are meant to be joyful, but if you're a man dealing with erectile dysfunction, the season of love and joy can be tough on you. And if ED is putting strain on your relationship, this is the year to turn things around. Show your partner you care by giving the gift of treating your ED and restoring your relationship. At Heartland Men's Health, they have treatments that work when the pills or herbals fail. And they have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. So call Heartland Men's Health today and give your partner the best gift this season, a renewed, restored relationship. Schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in your office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. Plus, they have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. So call them today, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
The world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips has arrived in Missouri. Circa Sports is sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service, Circa Sports is better for the better. From football to basketball, college sports to pro, start betting like the pros in Missouri. Built for sports bettors by sports bettors. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. For problem gambling, call the Problem Gamblers Helpline at 1-800-522-4700.
Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From sportswear to suits and sports coats in sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/royal rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a Pick 6, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at anthonyphce.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by the technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electric. Downtown 70 eastbound before Maine with an accident blocking 2 left lanes. Heavy from before I-35. 35 northbound also very slow coming in from 670, just crawling all the way up to I-70. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, it's George Karloftis. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Chiefs will be under center on first down with Kareem Hunt behind Mahomes. They fake to him. Mahomes off play action. Moving to the right, he'll throw it late. A flag thrown on the play, and it's incomplete. Mahomes is hurt. Mahomes is grabbing his leg. He's hurt. Mahomes taking a shot at the end of that play and is grabbing his leg. Well,
not too serious.
Gardner Minshew is going to have to get ready to go and try to win this game. At 1:53 to go in the game, and the Chiefs with 1st and 20 at their own 44-yard line. And the Chiefs, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time NFL MVP, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 17 playoff wins, is down and injured and appears seriously right in front of the Chiefs bench. He is up now on his backside, but he's in a lot of pain as we view it through our binoculars.
That is the call on the Chiefs Radio Network. Mitch Holtis in a different form, but always professional and giving the information. We've done this before, therapy sessions, right? Here on Fescoe and Dusty with Mac Morey as well. 913-586-7965. Let it out. Feel free. Phone line's open. I understand there's a lot of people out there that just don't want to talk about it. Maybe you're still heartbroken that Gunther beat John Cena in his final match. Tough weekend for your boy, dude. Cena goes out to submission. Mahomes goes out due to injury. Chiefs playoffs loss. Or playoffs hopes are gone. And, so.
It was a rough weekend, man. And then this Rob Reiner stuff that's coming out overnight where he was murdered and his wife was murdered. And they say it may have been allegedly his son that did it. I mean, like, what a crazy story that thing is going to be as well as we kind of move along. And there really no college football this weekend, right? Except Army-Navy, which turned into a great football game for everybody. But this is kind of the lasting taste in our mouth. And, I'd rather have it happen now, I think, than happen in September, right? I mean, that way that the whole season isn't gone. You didn't lose, the entire year. But, we'll see, how long it's going to take him to rehab and get better. And if anybody's going to do it fast and anybody's going to set the record on this of rehabbing an ACL, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. It's going to probably be like one of those, well, Mahomes was able to get back in 6 months. Why can't you, as we, move down the line. But it takes a very special person to be able to rehab, to be able to get it done. That's why I'm glad we're talking to Derek Johnson coming up in about 20 minutes or so, because when he had to rehab that Achilles, he talked about those dark days, man, and what it was like. And having Mike DeVito by his side really, really helped him. And because DeVito was rehabbing the exact same injury. And so they were able to kind of do that together. Patrick Mahomes is going to have Bobby Stroop on his side, working with him to move him, in the right direction. And quite honestly, Dusty, you couldn't have anybody better by your side if you needed to rehab an injury than Bobby Stroop, man. That guy is aces, man.
It's like I said, I think when that injury happened and he saw his guy, Patrick Mahomes, being helped through the tunnel, which was the image that is still burned in a lot of our minds here, because Mahomes has essentially been invincible, right? Like he's had the high ankle sprains, he's had the knee injury, but still somehow missed maybe 2 games at most and still came back through adversity and did it. And this one is one of those where towel over the head, arms on 2 grown-ass men's shoulders and limping in. Bobby Stroop's calendar is completely open, just says Mahomes with an arrow all the way until September, because we've seen it, we've heard it, we've read it, you've researched it, 9 to 12 months recovery. We'll see what it is. But, 913-586-7965. The therapy phone line is open, and we go to Justin. Justin, go ahead, man.
Hey, what's going on? One, I don't think the dynasty is over. It's just now beginning.
What?
Tom Brady went 10 seasons without winning one. Let's get a good draft pick. Look, we've made it. I know the season might be done, but it's only the beginning.
Okay. Well, it's Dynasty 1.0 can be done, but you can build up Dynasty 2.0.
Yeah, we don't know where Dynasty 2.0 is going to be, or if it's going to be Dynasty 2.0.
I think he's on to something. I think the next Dynasty starts with Mahomes, because I can see it, man. I can see the Adidas commercial coming.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Dynasty
Mahomes
2.0.
is down.
Yeah.
Mahomes is out. Patrick Mahomes has, in fact, suffered a torn ACL, and then you fast forward the commercial a little bit, and it's like, Mahomes finds this guy. Mahomes finds this guy, and the Chiefs are back in the playoff picture. I can see that.
Yeah.
100%, man.
Absolutely.
So clear, and it's going to happen.
But it's going to have to be different than what we saw now, and there's going to have to be more of an effort into going out there and making sure that we have the right weapons now around Patrick Mahomes, because now when he comes back, obviously he's going to be in his early to mid-30s at that point in time, and we've seen what it was like when I think this could be a really good wake-up call, guys, for everybody inside the organization, understanding and realizing that if we want to start this thing over again, we do have to do it differently. We have to invest in different positions. We have to make sure we have that running back. We have to make sure that we have wide receivers who aren't getting suspended before the game for behavior issues and guys kicking walls and all that kind of stuff. Like, we've got to make sure that we have the right group. This is a good kind of indication for this organization, or a good opportunity, I should say, for this organization, quite honestly, to take full stock in everything. And if there's any player on this team right now that's giving you pause, get his ass out of here. And you have the opportunity to start fresh. You have to take advantage of that.
You're either with us or you're against us. Peter, the phone lines are open. Go ahead, Peter.
No, I'm not really concerned about him making a full recovery. I think he has a great collage of friends, family. He has, like you said, Bobby Stroop. He has Alex Smith. Alex Smith has been with him. He's going to be there talking with him. I know Tom Brady is going to talk to him. I think the key right now is the organization just, unfortunately, I don't want to use another medical term, but they had a heart attack. Plain and simple, stroke, heart attack. He's going to be on the sidelines. He has to decide, do I really want to gear up, get back, break all the angles of getting back early to what team? Or does he say, you know what, you have 12 months, I'm going to rest, recuperate mentally, physically, spiritually. You got 12 months. You're on the clock. Make it happen. Because like you said, we don't know 2.0 is going to start, but one thing is for damn sure, 1.0 needs a heavy reset. And the onus is, unfortunately, unfortunately, is on the leadership. Comes from the Hunt family because that's Lamar Hunt's trophy you're going to miss out on. That should hit him so hard. So I think him being on the sidelines is going to be a very poignant reminder. We had a heart attack. We need to recuperate, recover before we even whisper Dynasty 2.0.
I love that call, Peter. That was as good a phone call as we've had in a very long time. That was well done by you, my man. Like, really good phone call.
Drew, the therapy telephone line is open for you. Drew, go ahead.
Hey, guys, just to kind of echo what Bob said, this is going to be the highest pick that we're going to have in Mahomes' career, I assume. So this is a really good time to rebuild, get you a good piece, a good cornerstone piece. Some of these guys might be out the door, like Chris Jones, maybe Trent McDuffie, Travis Kelce, but you could really rebuild in this draft. And then another thing, like what Bob said, is this is probably the best time that this injury could happen because the season's over. You're not at the beginning of the season. You're not at the middle. The season's over and done with. So now that pick could get even better. So just a little bit of positivity to go with such a bad thing that happened yesterday.
Hell yeah, Drew. Thanks for the phone call. Again, 913-586-7965. The therapy telephone lines are open for you here on Fescoe and Dusty with McMorray. I mean, what this says to me is this is Andy Reid's biggest offseason as a Chiefs head coach.
No doubt.
And Brett Veach.
Yep.
As well.
Both of them. Yeah. And Clark Hunt. This is an off season for the three biggest people in your organization. Owner, head coach, general manager, assuming all of that stays the same, going into this offseason, which, I mean, I'm sure there are going to be changes. I'm sure there are going to be coaches that decide they want to leave. I think there's going to be coaches that are asked to leave. I think there may be coaches that ultimately end up retiring. I think this offseason, guys, is going to be a very, very, very active offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's going to be a major offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs.
We go to Angie. Go ahead, Angie. You're on the line.
Hi. I was just thinking, with every other game this year where we ended up losing by 3 or whatever, my mind always went to, if only this had happened. If only we had gotten a touchdown versus a field goal. And there were, at least one example of that yesterday. If only the refs had called this PI, and gosh, that happened yesterday.
Right.
But this time, you know what? My brain just went to, we have probably watched the last game of Mahomes and Kelce playing together.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they're thinking the same thing. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in what we want from them that we forget about that, man, they're just guys. They're people too. And they got to be feeling it hard right now. And I know we get all crazy about it, but, dude, we're just watching it. They're living it every day. And that's their life. And I think we really have to kind of step back and get some perspective on it, honestly.
No doubt. Angie, thank you for the phone call.
I mean, that's a really good perspective of way to look at it. Imagine you're Travis Kelce. This is it. You got a couple of more to go. This is 24 hours ago. All right, my second to last game with Patrick. Oh, my God, I'm never going to play with Patrick Mahomes again.
We go to Taylor here on the therapy telephone line. Go ahead, Taylor.
Yeah, hey, guys. First, I just want to say how absolutely gutted, I am for Pat. He has done everything this season that we can ask for, and, he gives it his all the time, like he always does. And for him to go out like that, I mean, I think I can speak for everybody that we're just so sad for him, and now what I seriously hope that this does, if this horrible season hasn't already done it, is it opens up our staff's eyes, our coaches, our front office, to be like, okay, well, what can we do moving forward to, not only help this team, but to help Patrick? What does Patrick need to be able to move forward and, make this something that, that this season never happens again?
Taylor.
I just think that they need to look in the mirror and kind of take some reflection.
Can you sing Betty for me?
I would love to.
You sound a lot like Taylor. Mac and I are looking at each other going, kind of does sound like her a little bit. Would that be not the greatest thing ever? Taylor just called in as
Incredible.
Taylor just to complain about the season or whatever. Because she was there yesterday, so she's here in Kansas City. So I had to ask. I'm not going to let that slip through. What if it was and she belted out Betty and like we had made radio history here?
We use something like that on a day like today.
We could!
Coming up on the other side, we'll get to Derek Johnson. Plus, a little bit later, we'll continue to have your therapy telephone sessions as well here on Fescoe and Dusty with Mac Morey. Derek Johnson joins us next year on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is Leo Chanel, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you what, here we are at the holiday season, and the last thing you want to experience this holiday is pain, right? You don't want pain stealing the moments that matter most to you, and that's time with friends and family. And all that could change when you call my friends over at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is right here in Kansas City, and they believe that relief doesn't have to come from surgery or pain pills. They use your body's own natural healing abilities to repair and restore what's been lost, helping you live and feel and act like yourself again. It's your body's comeback story, powered by the very cells that built you in the first place. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery, just your body remembering how to feel alive again. And QC Kinetics delivers long-term relief to make the new year an awesome time for you. So it's time to take that first step literally and enjoy the holidays without pain. Call QC Kinetics now and schedule that free consultation. And it's a great time to use HSA or FSA for treatments. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, it's QC Kinetics.
This holiday season, give your family, clients, and coworkers the gift of Booth Creek Wagyu beef. Booth Creek Wagyu gift boxes provide the world's best steaks, burgers, hot dogs, jerky, sausages, and seasonings that are changing the way America eats beef. Choose from mouth-watering options like the classic sirloin box for less than $100, or go big with the amazing Grill Masters Reserve box. Order yours today at boothcreekwagyu.com or visit one of their 2 convenient locations at 95th and Knoll or 135th Street in Metcalf.
Target's last-minute deals are here, right on time to get you holiday ready in no time. Snag beauty gift sets for every style, the hottest toys, can't miss entertainment, crowd-pleasing candy, and much more. All under $20. Whether you're hosting or welcoming surprise guests, you'll be ready for all of it for less. Grab them now before they're gone. Last-minute deals under $20. Happening now, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Legendary doesn't happen by chance. It happens because it's what BetMGM does. Sign up for BetMGM and check out all the exciting new ways you can make this football season unforgettable. Enjoy our all-new app design and same-game parlay builder, which will take your experience to a new level. Earn BetMGM rewards points from your bets, take advantage of football promos found nowhere else, like a second chance offer on a first touchdown bet, and keep an eye out for rewards dropping in your account throughout the season. Never settle for ordinary. Sign up today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements, promotions may vary by market. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Ben, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you and your partner are experiencing struggles because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts at treating ED. And as a Prometic restorative health practice, we've literally seen countless thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season, a renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Downtown 70 eastbound before Maine with an accident blocking 2 left lanes, keeping things slow from 35. 35 northbound pretty heavy coming up from 670, and they won't let you on I-70 anymore. They force you to the street level there. Heading up 71 northbound slow before 87th. Stays pretty heavy up to 75th Street with an accident. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
He's the Chiefs' all-time leading tackler and 4-time Pro Bowler.
Derek Johnson picks it. He's up the right sideline, 30-yard line, 25, and down into Washington territory. Derek Johnson.
But to us, he's our forever linebacker.
I want to be battle tested. I want to go through some adversity. I want to go through some things where you say, "Oh man, we gotta figure this out."
Here's number 56, Derek Johnson, with Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Derek Johnson time here on Fescoe and Dusty. It is brought to you by Community America Credit Union, member-owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you. DJ, I'll be straight up honest with you, man. Down bad is the mood today, and normally go to you about advice when it comes to, defensive alignments, defensive stuff. You have had a severe injury. The Achilles injury obviously has happened to you. What is that? You're a quarterback of the defense. What's that like? And I guess talk us through the process of what you go through, rehab, what it's like in that locker room afterwards, and all of that when those injuries happen.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, man. My heart goes out to Pat. He battled his tail off. When you have season-ending injuries, it's not just a physical thing; it's a mental thing too. And being able to just be at a place in your career where you're like, man, I can. He has the confidence to come back. He has the confidence to work hard and do what he needs to do to be, lead this team to playoffs and to Super Bowl champions. So he still has that ability. So that's not out the window. It's just disheartening to get hurt during a time like this, where you're like, man, we need everybody. We need a play or two here, a ball to bounce our way, and to see Pat go down in that way. It's kind of like the last straw of how this season has gone. Still got a couple games left. Still got to finish strong and see what some young guys can do. But to see our head honcho Pat go down like that, my heart goes out to him.
Yeah, it really is awful, obviously, to see him kind of go up the tunnel like that, the imagery of, ending this first phase of the dynasty. And that's kind of what it felt like to me yesterday. This first phase of this Patrick Mahomes era has officially come to a close here in Kansas City, and now it's time to regroup. And this offseason, DJ, I think can be exciting because there's an opportunity to do a lot now this offseason.
Yeah. We are still in the thick of it when you talk about teams that could make the playoffs or dominate. We're talking in the future or whatnot. But if we would have made it in the playoffs this year, even though our record is not that good, some people wouldn't have liked Kansas City coming to their house because you just never know. You're like, they can beat literally anybody. This year has been a weird year. We've won a lot of close games the last couple of years, and it's gone our way. We figured it out every single time. This year, it seems like the opposite, where you're like, man, we lost so many close games. And man, it's just tough, man. We've been spoiled. We've been in a good way of just being on top for a long time. And the good thing about it, Pat's, we get him healthy or whatnot. We do have a lot of things in the off season, and Veach will get going. And I'm confident that Chiefs organization will put a team together that's going to give us a chance.
When you look at this team, the future, and you think about, defensive players and defensive schemes and what this team can do, where do you want to see this team shift next year?
Oh man, shift in the standpoint of different players. I mean, we still got. I mean, you got young players like Nick Bolton, who I think is a heck of a player. I mean, he's in the middle of that defense, and I mean, he's only 25, 26 years old. So I mean, we always figure out a way to do some draft well, bring guys in that fit the culture. And Andy's, man, even though Andy's an older gentleman, Andy knows exactly what he's doing. And Veach is a young, expiring GM that really has caught the league by storm of the players he bring in, not just the Pat Mahomes, but I'm talking about just the other guys that you say, man, I didn't even really know his name, but he's a heck of a player. But I'm really kind of excited about next year because we have a lot of potential, but this year is definitely I'm kind of counting down. Let's get this year going, get out the way.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you. I said earlier, DJ, and you've been on some of these teams, obviously 2012 and all that, where you're like, it just needs to end, man. I'm just tired. Yeah. It needs to be over. How good will a longer break be for this entire franchise too?
Well, it'll be the first time in over 10 years for sure. Because when I was there, we went to playoffs, especially with Andy, almost every year. So just being able to take a reset, reload. I wouldn't even say rebuild, reload, because you got the nuclear guys still there. But every team is different, and every year you just don't know. And I think we'll be fine. We'll be fine, but we do need a reset, and this will be the longest break ever for us. We've never had January off, so we'll see how that goes.
DJ, what would you do about the quarterback position as you get ready to go into next season? How would you approach it this offseason?
Yeah, that's alwathat's always a tough advice, or just because that's usually not our job. So I'm always coming from a standpoint of a player standpoint, but just looking outside, looking in. You just got to take more. Just a bigger name, or I wouldn't say bigger name, just a more secure second string player, just because our team is not just built for Pat. Pat's the Superman. Don't get me wrong. We need Pat, but if that were to ever happen again, where he goes down for a couple games, or God forgiven, an ending season injury, have someone where you say, hey, we're pretty good. We can stay within a box, and we can still win games effectively in the National Football League. So that's a big spot. That second string quarterback for the Chiefs is not something to play with, just because how Pat plays. Pat plays all over the place, and we need him to play all over the place because he gives us the best chance. But you put him in harm's way at times when that happens, and injuries are prone to happen. And I would love to have not that you have to have a drafted guy, but just somebody where you say, man, if Pat goes down, we can still win.
DJ, last one here for you. When you were going through your rehab, what was the toughest part going through all that?
Not looking too far ahead. When you get season-ending injuries, the first thing that comes about, especially the first time after surgery, you're like you can't move. Like it's no rehab. There's nothing going on, and mentally you got to get yourself to a point where you say, man, I'm going to count little victories every single day. It's a long road. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. But, man, Rick Broholder and the guys, they do a great job, especially with season-ending injuries. And I'm sure Pat will do great, actually.
No doubt. DJ, we'll continue the conversations throughout the season. I mean, yesterday was tough, but they'll come back stronger than ever. And I know you believe that. I know the city believes that.
Absolutely. Y'all take it easy.
Take care, DJ. That is Derek Johnson, brought to you by Community America Credit Union, member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
One word.
First name is blank, and he goes on a cruise. He goes on a Caribbean cruise.
Katie Holmes.
No. Ah!
Are you listening?
What's your least favorite thing about working with yourself?
Body odor. You get one word.
On the count of 3, name your favorite dinosaur. 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor.
This is one word on Fescoe and Dusty.
1, 2, 3.
Oatmeal raisin.
So real quickly, one of my buddies back when I was in college was a foreign exchange student from Hong Kong. His name is Hong. That's right. He said his day is completely ruined because he came to Kansas City, became a Royals and Chiefs fan, big baseball nut. Said the game yesterday was at 3 a.m. his time, and he goes, good luck today. And I said, thank you. He goes, I'm devastated. Talk me out of it. And I said, well, just keep listening.
Yeah.
So, shout out to, I guess, Karina's listening today.
So when does he watch the games? Because our friends in Italy, we were texting yesterday, and they go, we'll watch the game tomorrow night. I'm tempted to tell him don't watch the game.
Yeah.
So when does he, what time of day is it when he's watching the games over there?
I don't know. He said 3 a.m. is when the game came on today, I guess, or yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
So 3 a.m. Monday morning for him would have been, oh my, that's crazy. So
So about 5 a.m. he was feeling it. And he sent me a DM on Instagram and said all that stuff. So
I wonder what time it is in Hong Kong now. Probably like 10 o'clock at night.
Well, tell him what you're thinking. One word on that Chiefs game.
Over.
Yeah, I don't want to go that route. Devastated. I think it's okay, because you don't want to. I don't know. Everybody had the same feeling. I think yesterday, like you kind of were seeing that the game wasn't going your way. You might have been pissed off because of maybe some of the way that the hits were coming, the low block, and then I didn't know a crackback block happened when you blocked the guy square on. I don't know what that was. Either way, the pass interference play, they didn't get called. You were just angry, and then when you see Mahomes getting helped off the field, you were just absolutely devastated.
Mm-hmm.
So I think devastation would be my one word for yesterday.
I think reality, too. I think we have finally experienced for the first time in a decade what every other team in professional sports faces. Devastating injuries, an abrupt end to the season that you didn't expect and that you didn't want. I think reality did set in yesterday, and I hope when Dynasty 2.0 begins, we remember how Dynasty 1.0 ended, and we all embrace and appreciate every moment of the new Dynasty that's going to start whenever it does.
Oh, he's going to come back, and he's going to be pissed, and I can't wait.
Yes,
is the organization going to come back pissed, though, and have that same venom this offseason that Patrick Mahomes is going to have this offseason? Because you're right. He's going to come back pissed. He's going to come back with a vengeance. I hope the organization has an offseason as well that matches that vengeance, if you will, that Patrick Mahomes is going to have.
Yeah, can't fail him again like they did this year. Patrick Mahomes, his tweet, don't know why this had to happen and not going to lie, it hurts, but all we can do now is trust in God and attack every single day over and over again. Thank you, Chiefs Kingdom, for always supporting me. And for everyone who's reached out and sent prayers, he'll be back stronger than ever. One word on his tweet.
That's apropos. That's kind of what I expected from Patrick Mahomes. You know, that he's going to be back. He's going to be fine. I'm going to take care of business. I'm going to rock and roll, and let's go. I mean, that's exactly what I expected out of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. One word on the tweet. Inspirational. I mean, that's a guy that, literally was helped out of the stadium. And an hour later, he's giving you raw emotions and, trust and everything that can help it out in the long run. And that's why look, man, we've never seen Mahomes like this except for the knee and the side of the leg. They came back that season and won a Super Bowl and hoisted up that Lombardi trophy. So we'll see. Yeah. Trust.
Damn right. They trusted in Phillip Rivers, the Colts did, and man, he really did come through. It felt like they had it. End of game winning drive, and then 18 or whatever seconds left there were for the Seahawks, enough to get down there again, and they kicked the field goal and ended up winning that game. This was Phillip Rivers post-game.
Hopefully, certainly I think of my sons and those ball players, that I'm in charge of at the school, that they'll say, like, crap, coach wasn't scared. You know what I mean? It's like, shoot, sometimes there is doubt, and it's real. And again, you can the guaranteed safe bet is to go home or to not go for it, and the other one is shoot, let's see what happens, and so I hope that in that sense that it can be a positive to some young boys, or young people. It doesn't have to be boys, but
inspiring is the one word that I'll use there. I mean, you could hear the emotion with him right there and all that kind of stuff, and he made it about the kids, which I thought was really cool. Like, yeah, I'm going to go out here for myself, but I'm going to send a message to them that nothing is impossible. And if you're a kid that plays for Phillip Rivers and he's like, I need you to do something, you can't look at him and go, that's impossible, because I was 45 years old playing the NFL game after not playing for 5 years. So inspirational is how I'll look at that.
Yeah, emotional. He had no business playing an NFL game. I watched a lot of that game. It was one of the main focuses on Red Zone. I think he threw for like 120 passing yards, and you could see exactly what they were trying to do, just run the ball. Good for him. I'm glad that he gave it a shot. But
it was almost amazing.
Almost, yeah. But it was better than I thought it was going to be. If that's, obviously his passes, some here weren't great, but I got to say I'm impressed by anybody coming back after 5 years of not doing anything and going out there and doing it and giving your team an opportunity to win with 18 seconds left roughly. That was a hell of a performance by Phillip Rivers. He got hit on one of the first couple of passes that he threw. I'm like, I wonder how that felt.
Ask him today. Yeah. No, props to him. Set him up for the 60-yard field goal, and then, Seattle's got them a kicker as well.
Everybody's got a kicker now. That's what sucks about where we are. Like, the 13-second thing was remarkable. Now everybody's kind of doing stuff like that because you don't need to get that far. 2 plays maybe, and you're in field goal range now in the NFL.
Yep, kickers and the new where you start on the field's changed since then as well. So no question. There was one play where Phillip Rivers was dropping back against air and fell down, and him getting back up, before he got touched was like one of us getting up, hold onto the knee, get up slowly. I think it was great. Good for him. Michael Garcia signed a long-term 5-year extension to the boys in blue. One word on the deal.
There's more than one word to describe this, but what I think I'm going to use to describe this is the right thing. And that's more than one word, but this is what you do when you're running an organization. You sign the guys that you have homegrown that are good. And I think we're watching the John Sherman approach right now with this organization we have for the last 5 years. It's time to end the way you thought about the Royals when David Glass was the owner of this franchise. It is time to move on from that. So the one word that I'll do, Shermian, because this is a Shermian version of how the Royals are going to play. They sign their guys, folks. They sign their players, whether it's Cole Reagans, Bobby Witt, Michael Garcia, Vinny Pasquantino's next. I would expect him to get some sort of contract here in Kansas City because that's what you do. You take care of your own. Shermian is the word I'll use.
Don't forget Seth Lugo, and they brought back Michael Wacha as well. Yep. Also got a couple of guys from the Brewers and sent Angel Zerpa away as well. Mm-hmm. Michael Garcia's signing for me is a golden signing. The left side of your infield for the foreseeable future is locked up at third and shortstop, which is crazy because Michael Garcia wasn't even on the starting roster for opening day last year. Your third baseman was Jonathan India, and now it is Michael Garcia for at least the next 5 years, especially with Bobby Witt Jr. I don't think they're done either. I think now what you do is you sit back and see which free agents didn't get signed in the first thing, because I had a guy that's insider in the MLB, and I talked to him this weekend, and he said, I think what they do now is wait for those free agents that don't get the big pop contracts and then go spend money, save now, go buy later when those guys aren't getting signed right away in the winter meetings.
Yeah,
because there's still a lot of names out there that aren't getting the action that maybe we thought they'd get, right? Schwarber signed, Alonso signed, and then there was a couple other guys. But again, there's still some big names out there that you can now sit back and say, oh, they didn't go. Your value's now dropped. Now you play in the hands of a small market.
Well, wait till we get past the first of the year and you can smell the grass from spring training, right? And then the players start to get a little bit nervous. Oh, nobody signed me yet. Okay, I'm just going to take the best deal that comes along. But the Royals aren't done. They still need an outfield bat. I know they got some guy you probably didn't hear of over the weekend from Milwaukee, as Dusty talked about. But that's a start. You still need more. You still need that big bopper of a bat to go out there. And I don't expect them not to go out there and add to that. So, an exciting offseason for the Royals, exciting the other day by signing, Maikel Garcia. And the other thing that it does too, part of Bobby's deal is he has the opportunity to opt out if he doesn't feel like the team is doing what they need to put a winner on the field. You continue to sign your guys, give long-term contracts to your stars. Bobby Witt ain't going to want to go anywhere. And when they announced the new stadium, you got that coming on board as well. Like, Bobby Witt ain't going to go here because this organization is showing Bobby Witt, hey, man, we got your back. We signed you, and we didn't just end it here. We're bringing everybody else along to the party, unlike in years past where, well, Mike Sweeney got a contract, nobody else is getting paid, and we got to play with people who shouldn't be in the big league. So I love the fact that John Sherman is going out there and making everybody forget how it used to be, and we need to focus on the way it is right now.
Yeah, because when do winter meetings end?
They ended already.
Oh, they are over. They end over the weekend.
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, been long done. These guys are now eating charcuterie at home, swimming in the pool, drinking Cayman Jacks, and thinking about Christmas. Nice. Yeah. But after the first of the year, this stuff gets busy, man.
Well, at least Vern's hot stove will start in January.
That's right.
Coming up next,
we'll go from
tomorrow. We'll go from 18 to 25 here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
This is Fescoe and Dusty, brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is the holidays. We're all looking for ways to save money, right? That's why you need to have that free mortgage checkup with my folks over at Golden Oak Lending, because when you do, you'll find out if you're in the best mortgage you could possibly be in. The free mortgage checkup is just that, free. Risk-free, no paperwork, no credit card required. Just call 913-890-GOLD to find out how much money you can save each month. It sounds simple because it is. You'll call the folks over at Golden Oak Lending, and they'll say, all right, tell us all about you. Tell us about your financial situation. Tell us where you want to go in life. And Golden Oak will then look for a mortgage that's better than the one that you're in. If they have one, great, you're on your way. If they don't, hey, they'll let you know that as well, and they'll never put you in a mortgage that isn't better than the one you have. And when you refinance with Golden Oak Lending, the average cash-out customer saves $1,104 per month, and then you go 2 months without having to make a mortgage payment. We're talking about March now when you're going to have to make your first mortgage payment. So get some extra cash, get a great low rate, and take that free mortgage checkup from my friends over at Golden Oak Lending. Call them now, 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD. And let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Likens, and that cool weather's moving in, that hot weather's moving out, but keep it hot in the bedroom. And if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction, just remember that ED is nothing more than a medical condition. Studies show that around 50% of men over the age of 50 have some form of the condition, and young men can be affected by ED as well. But what you may not know is that ED stems from a variety of causes, and these often call for differing treatment strategies. And that's what Heartland Men's Health does. Heartland Men's Health treatments work when the pills or the herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Heartland Men's Health successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider and a T and PSA test. And if medically advised, a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you are like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Kansas; Independence, Missouri, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit; and in North Kansas City. So call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
At Uline, The prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Having a financial partner who's all in changes everything. It's the difference between hoping for a home and holding the keys. Between dreaming about your own business and actually opening the doors. Between turning what ifs into what's next. At Community America, we're here for every moment, with financial expertise built around every part of your life. Because when you have a financial partner that's invested in every part of you, you can't help but feel like a star. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Lowe's December deal drops are here, just in time to give your home some love before holiday hosting. This week, get up to 40% off select major appliances. And members, save an additional $60 on the Maytag top-load laundry pair, now just $9.96. Plus, save up to $20 on select Moen kitchen and bathroom faucets. Shop December deal drops all month long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/17. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs, with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Legendary doesn't happen by chance. It happens because it's what BetMGM does. Sign up for BetMGM and check out all the exciting new ways you can make this football season unforgettable. Enjoy our all-new app design and same-game parlay builder, which will take your experience to a new level. Earn BetMGM rewards points from your bets, take advantage of football promos found nowhere else, like a second chance offer on a first touchdown bet, and keep an eye out for rewards dropping in your account throughout the season. Never settle for ordinary. Sign up today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements, promotions may vary by market. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 71 northbound gets heavy at 87th or a little before. Stays pretty slow up towards 75th Street with a stalled off to the left shoulder, but sticking out to the left lane, keeping everybody slow. Kansas side 35 northbound sluggish from 75th Street up towards 635 with an accident. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Back in on 96.5 The Fan.
Especially the way it ended that year and how they got into the World Series. But that's another conversation for another day.
This comes from Mike from Woburn on Twitter. This is the victory laps I tell you about that people have, just bad soul. I mean, we're getting Christmas time. People, check yourselves. Don't let the injury distract you from the fact that Mahomes and the Chiefs were eliminated from the playoffs with multiple games remaining in the season. Tom Brady never played a single game in the NFL career where he wasn't eligible for the playoffs at kickoff. Kiss my ass. His bio is professional loudmouth, amateur know-it-all, formerly from Attleboro.
Oh, so he's from Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All opinions here are my own, unless anyone wants to take the rap for me.
Can we stop talking about Tom Brady though? Can we just realize like he is the greatest of all time and we'll never see anything like the run that Tom Brady had? Like, we're probably never going to see a baseball player like Shohei Ohtani ever again, right? So why do we always have to continually say, well, Tom Brady did this and Tom Brady did that? I think we're at a point now where the sane individuals in the room understand Tom Brady's a freaking unicorn, and he is the best that has ever played. And to sit here and constantly say, if we don't do this better than Tom Brady, then it's no good. Nah, you're never going to be the GOAT, maybe. But just because you don't reach the Tom Brady level doesn't mean you can't be awesome, a Hall of Famer, and have one hell of a career on your own. And that's where sports is the lowest of hanging fruits, is when it's constantly comparing to something like Tom Brady or Shohei Ohtani or Babe Ruth, for all of these years in baseball. Will somebody beat Tom Brady? Probably not. Probably not going to happen. But can you still have an awesome, unbelievable, spectacular career? You better believe you can. And what we just experienced in the first 8 years of this Patrick Mahomes run has been dynamic. And no loudmouth from Boston who's complaining about the Red Sox this time of year has any room to say anything about our dynasty and what we've just accomplished. Any other team on planet Earth, other than that era of the Patriots, would trade anything for what we've just been through. So is it the greatest of all time? No, but it's our greatest of all time, and it was pretty damn special and pretty damn good, and nobody's going to take away all of those great memories that I have from the last 8 to 10 years of watching this team play football.
Yeah, screw Babe Ruth. George Fatty Hackett, the world's heaviest baseball player at 450 pounds, and played for the 1908 Citizens baseball team in Pennsylvania. Nobody talks about George Fatty Hackett.
Nobody talks about that guy ever, right? Like it's just like
Oil Can Boyd.
How long are they going to be talking about the Tom Brady stuff? Oh, it's not Tom Brady. Like, are you guys going to be drooling in your wheelchairs, eating crab cakes and lobster in your dying days, pooping your pants and eating Toll House cookies, telling everybody about the glory days of Tom Brady? Like, for Patriot fans right now, you got a pretty good life going on right now. Embrace what Drake May's doing, because if you don't embrace what Drake May's doing right now, you're going to miss it, because you're talking about Grandpa Tom and his Botox.
I think the interesting thing about, because there's been some people saying that one bad year doesn't end a dynasty, and I bring this up when you talk about like GOAT conversations and Mahomes being the starter from 18 to now. Obviously, he's going to miss some time, I think, next year. We'll see what the rehab is. Bobby, you're the man now. Bobby Stroop, that is. We'll get to Bobby Witt later on this week as the Royals start to ramp up their things, because it'll be a shorter spring for the Royals, because the World Baseball Classic will be played. Yeah. Obviously, Vinny, Jack playing for Team Italy, and then you'll have Bobby playing for Team United States at shortstop, pushing the World Cup coming. So there's a lot of stuff. Couldn't have had a better year for a bad season or a non-playoff season for the Chiefs, because there's a lot of pick-me-ups.
Oh, and by the way, we'll have 2 new stadiums coming on as well. So there's a lot going on in sports.
We're also 10 days away from Christmas, and Hanukkah's officially starts tonight, I believe, or last night. But again, you look at what the first wave of Dynasty 1.0, I think you can have multiple dynasties and build yourself up for success throughout. You went to 7 straight AFC Championship games. You had 5 Super Bowls appearances, 3 Super Bowl victories, 17 playoff wins, 9 consecutive AFC West division titles. That's a hell of a resume.
It's a hell of a run
before you're 31 years old.
Yeah, it's a great run. And that's why today, like, again, micro versus macro, the micro sucks, because this is over. It is. The team as we've known is now officially done. Patrick Mahomes is out. Travis Kelce's at the end of his career. I'd trade Chris Jones this offseason. Look, everybody's on the table right now to be traded and moved on from this offseason. You kind of have an opportunity to have that clean slate. And so, yeah, the first part may be over, but there's no reason you can't reload and rebuild and do this thing again. I mean, when you go back and you look at real dynasties and you talk about like the New York Yankees from the mid-90s to the 10s, winning every single year and doing things and constantly replacing players and doing all of that kind of stuff. That's what you have to do. You have to always be advancing as an organization. And the Chiefs have an opportunity to really advance as an organization this year. Changes to the coaching staff, changes to personnel, changes to the way that they do everything. And so they've got themselves literally a golden ticket, because they're probably going to be picking in the top 15, if not top 10 this year. And to have the opportunity to pick in the top 10 with Patrick Mahomes still part of your organization, you got to make that draft pick count. You got to use that lottery ticket to be able to take this thing to the next level. And so there's just a lot of opportunity for this organization and this team and this franchise, this offseason. And it's just going to get going right now. I mean, there's going to be coaching changes on this roster. There's going to be player changes on this roster. There's going to be a lot different when we regroup in St. Joe. It's probably going to be a lot of people you don't recognize and don't know. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay, and it's time to get new players in here.
Yeah, and I think this is a big offseason for Clark, for Brett Veach, and for Andy Reid, because we talked about that resume that just went through with Patrick Mahomes since 2018. It's been great. Not a lot of adversity. I mean, I know that the injury that happened in Denver, he was out, 2 games?
Was it 2 or 3? Either way, not many.
Either way.
Yeah.
And then, there's been, times where the ankle injury might have limited him a little bit, but then it showed up in the playoffs. It wasn't anything of severity, still kind of willed his way through it. And then this is the year where, it finally happened. Injuries added up. You faced adversity. You couldn't get back from it. And you saw how the season ended. And the season ended with your franchise quarterback being helped up the ramp into the locker room, tweeting out that, his raw emotions. And I think this is one of those things where when you look at the Chiefs and you move them forward into next season, you're going to have an entire reevaluation, not just from the roster, not just from everything else that is this team moving forward, but from the fact that this is a move in the offseason that's going to check Andy Reid, that's going to check Brett Veach, it's going to check Clark Hunt, because you cannot miss playoffs with Patrick Mahomes. The guy put his team on his back the last 2 full seasons, and it ended up he lost his knee out of it. And you've got to get a supporting cast around him, whether that is a dynamic running back, whether that is receivers that can actually do their job in moments where they need to do their job, whether that is, coaching that can be a voice where you can get maybe a red ass back on the sideline. It's a revamp from the bottom to the top, from the top to the bottom when it comes to this offseason for the Chiefs.
It gives you an opportunity to look at literally everything. When you're winning, you're not looking at everything. And when you're winning, sometimes things get hidden because, you're winning and you're not going to change things in that moment. Now that you've lost and you're not in the playoffs and Patrick Mahomes is down, it gives you that opportunity to really be critical with a fine-tooth comb. The other thing that they're going to have about 6 more weeks to be able to start doing this offseason stuff, because they're not in the playoffs this year and they're not going to the Super Bowl. So you have that opportunity now to get a true jump start on an offseason that you just haven't had, all right? You were not focused on the offseason in January and the beginning of February. You were doing Super Bowl stuff for all of that period of time. And so now they got a 6-week jump, if you will, really 8 weeks, 9 weeks if you want to count these last couple of weeks of the NFL season. You've got a big-time jump that you have not had. You need to make this time count, and these opportunities matter. And so you can go through literally every single thing in this organization. And I hope Clark Hunt goes through Andy Reid, just like they're going to go through the roster, and Andy's going to look at all his coaches and figure out which ones need to move on and which ones can stay and who you're going to replace. Clark Hunt needs to have that same conversation and needs to go through the same thing with Andy Reid and with Brett Veach this offseason as well, that Andy's going to go through with his coaches. If Andy's making changes on his coaching staff, which I do expect, I would imagine that Clark Hunt sits Andy down and say, okay, this is what I'm going to need out of you, and sits down Brett and says, this is what I'm going to need out of you to make some of these changes moving forward. And then they can say, well, then I need resources from you to go out there and make these changes happen.
We'll get to the script of what we thought was going to happen in the game yesterday here on a Monday on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is Isaiah Pacheco, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, we spent the better part of yesterday at Hy-Vee going up and down the aisle, saving a bunch of money with all of their great low prices. And then, I scanned my Fuel Perks card, and I went to the pump. You know what I paid for gas yesterday? I paid 78 cents a gallon for gas yesterday and filled my car up 20 gallons for about $15 yesterday. I loved it. I felt like I was in high school all over again with as much money as I'm saving on the Fuel Perks Hy-Vee card, and it's been absolutely awesome. I also go up and down the aisles and see the items that have extra fuel savings as well. And so today, get to Hy-Vee. Chiefs scored 13 yesterday. Spend $13 or more, and you'll get 13 cents off a gallon of gas at Hy-Vee. The more we score, the more I save, only at Hy-Vee.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door if it isn't ready. Let Overhead Door Company of Kansas City come out and perform their 14-point tune-up on the garage door and 12-point tune-up on the opener. One price covers 3 garage doors and openers. The work is guaranteed. Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. Trusted here since 1927. Call now to schedule your garage door tune-up, 816-221-0072, or schedule online at ohdkc.com. ohdkc.com.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shank Company. We'll help you find last-minute gifts that don't look last-minute, even if you're still planning to propose. At Shane Company, we'll show you perfect gifts at perfect prices, in stock and ready to give. Like hand-matched diamond studs, 14-karat gold chains, or the ultimate gift, a beautiful engagement ring. We have longer store hours, so you can skip the crowds and shop when you want, or visit us at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Newton James is Kansas City's newest classic menswear boutique and accessory store. They redefine what menswear should be with the best designers from the US, the UK, and Japan. Their new seasonal collection just dropped, but the most popular colors and modern cuts always go first. So check them out today. Whether it's a suit for a holiday party, a winter wedding, or a sharp everyday fit, get the best look while your size is still in stock. At Newton James, they believe someone has to be the best dressed man in the room. It might as well be you. Check them out on Instagram or newtonjames.com.
Guys, if you started noticing your focus is off, maybe you're not remembering family events, or you just don't feel the same, Synergen X and Low T Center have clinics all over town so you can start receiving care. There's no reason to continue to delay this when you could start feeling like yourself again. They give you the power to choose to be treated in the clinic or at home, and a free TRT test is at the center with results in as little as 20 minutes. Look, you don't want to keep feeling bad all the time. You want really good testosterone treatment plans that are designed for you. Customized TRT plans at the best place in the city. That's Synergen X and Low T Center. So stop waiting and find out where those solutions could be with a free T test. The best is waiting for you The best is waiting for you. So get off the sideline and get that free T test now. Go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's country song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Chiefs coverage this past hour has been brought to you by WaysideWaves.org. Save a life this holiday season.
Wayside rescues thousands of animals each year. Your gift today provides a complete circle of life-saving care they need to heal and find loving homes. Donate today, and your gift will be matched. Visit WaysideWaves.org to make your life-saving gift today.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 71 northbound heavy from 87th up to 75th with a stalled on the left shoulder. 435 westbound sluggish coming out of the Grandview Triangle. Heavier around Holmes, then slow rolling to the state line. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Nick Bolton. Tune in on game days to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danon, and Clean on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Eight o'clock hour here on 96.5 The Fan. Fescoe, Dusty, and Mac with you until 10 a.m. Then Cody Golden Drew will take over from 10 to 2. Carrington and Rob from 2 to 6. Chiefs lose Patrick Mahomes for the rest of the season. Torn ACL is the news. Would assume that surgery will happen soon. Rehab shortly follows with Mr. Bobby Stroop.
Would you be surprised if he was already in surgery like this morning already? Like 8 o'clock, let's go.
Our parlay didn't really pan out.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 legs. Maybe tough to call parlays today. I think I had the Chargers at plus 5.5. You had Kelsey at 50 or more receiving yards. He ended up with 7 for 70? Something around those lines.
Was that it?
Yeah, I think it was 7 for 70.
I had no idea.
And then
didn't look at the box score after.
Yeah, I mean, once that game happens, you just shut it off and move on to.
Yep.
But that was what was great about yesterday is you had that loss, and then when Mahomes gets off the field, like I was just watching the game solo, and then I was like, yeah, you know what? Time for red zone. And I didn't need to watch the rest of it. And then, of course, Scott Hansen's like, Gardner Minshew's in for the Chiefs, intercepted, and the Chiefs will miss the playoffs, which was the news yesterday. Big focus now moves on to, obviously, the rehab injury of Patrick Mahomes and what he can do to come back from this, because I'm telling you right now, I do believe this in my heart of hearts, that you will see yesterday in a montage next year, whether it's from Adidas, whether it's from Oakley, whether it's from whatever, And then it's going to be Mahomes is going to start at some point in the weeks of, I want to say like week 5, I think to me is like best case scenario, 9-month recovery, gets him all the way through September. We know the season begins in September. So then October, I think, is when you could best case scenario think that he'd be ready. Now, maybe medical technology and rehab technology with Bobby Stroop and Patrick Mahomes can expedite that a little bit. But I would assume at the beginning of the season, there will be some time missed, but that's not up to me to decide. That's up to the Lord above and Patrick Mahomes' rehab, and we'll see what happens. But he is going to come back, and I hope these people that are circling around, the fall of the Chiefs and the injury of Patrick Mahomes, I pray for you. I hope that you find some sort of kindness in your days moving forward, and also I hope you prepare yourself for what could happen, because I don't know how prominent social media was in 2008 when Brady was injured against the Chiefs in week 1.
I think there was MySpace.
And I think there was probably a lot of people that went around, maybe it was on Facebook, to say, oh, great, Tom Brady's not playing. Maybe now teams have a chance. And I assume there's still hateful people there, but Tom Brady came back with a vengeance, and career was strong, and we consistently see people compare the two together, and I would assume that Patrick Mahomes will come back stronger than ever and start a new run for this Chiefs dynasty that could come after this injury.
Yeah, and look, I think that's what we have to hope for, and that's what you have to look at. And I think we can envision later on this spring the picture of how it started, Mahomes going up the tunnel versus how it's going, and it's videos of Bobby sending out videos of Patrick running and doing all the rehab and all of that kind of stuff. So I know we're going to be seeing all of those, and we're all going to be excited about those. But, as we get ready to head into this offseason, and we'll take your phone calls as well. We're here for you guys today to kind of talk and get through this thing. And, you guys can weigh in as well what you want to see moving forward at 913-586-7965. Love to hear from you guys today because it is that kind of day. We're all in this together, right? We're all looking for answers. We all have ideas. And, you start to think about now what the biggest question mark is going to be or what the biggest priority is going to be this offseason for the Chiefs. And I really do think it's for the first time, maybe in a long time, it's the quarterback position right now. Because as Derek Johnson even talked about it, you have to look better now at your backup quarterback and make sure that you have somebody in there that you can rely on for the first 4 or 5 games, whatever it's going to be, of this season. I think that's the way you have to approach it. I think you have to approach this offseason in going out and targeting the perfect quarterback to basically buy time for Patrick Mahomes. And it's not Russell Wilson. It's not Justin Fields. It's not, somebody of that nature. Is it Jameis Winston? I love the fact that it could be potentially Jameis Winston or, somebody like that or, Phillip Rivers. Maybe you trade for Purdy or Mac Jones or, whatever the idea are. What's that?
Maybe it's Minshew.
It may be, but I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, he's here and it just doesn't work for me. And that's not the right way to look at it. Yeah, exactly. I'm that guy. Do something. Give me something new. And look, they've changed their backup quarterback for the most part. Every year that Patrick Mahomes has been here, they've always brought in somebody different and somebody new. So I think making the right selection at backup quarterback / starter for the first month or so of the season is going to be a vital move that this organization is going to have to make. And it's going to be one of those moves that this organization is going to say, all right, we've got to get it right to give us the opportunity when Patrick Mahomes comes back to kind of pick up where he left off, a couple of seasons ago. So you want to make sure you have the right quarterback in there to lead this organization at the beginning of the year that helps you tread water. So when Patrick does come back at some point, hopefully next year, it's not too late because you picked the wrong backup quarterback. The other person who I think this injury really sucks for, and I'm just going to be honest here, Josh Allen. Like the excuses now are over. There are no more excuses for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. This is your year. This is gift wrap for you. There's no Mahomes. There's no, Burrow. There's no Lamar Jackson. All of these folks that have been around for all of these years are now out the way. Go out there and take advantage of that. And if Josh Allen and Buffalo, they don't win the AFC this year, there'll be a lot of questions that a lot of people are going to have of, how'd you not do it now? I mean, everybody was out of the way. Go out there and take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think that the big perspective of today is that I think there's more pressure on Andy Reid, Clark Hunt, and Brett Veach than there is on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I think that would be my takeaway because your franchise quarterback who you have, basically used to get you the success that you've had, right? Like everybody's always said, if the Chiefs can get in the playoffs, it's Mahomes. I'm not going to rule out the Chiefs as long as Mahomes is the quarterback. Well, now your quarterback has a torn ACL and is being limped off the field, so that will always be a question. Now you have to, not just bring, run it back teams together. You've got to start from the ground up. You've got to till the garden, replant, try new things, and get new voices in this team. And I think that's a lot of pressure to Andy Reid and company, because I don't want this to, be something that was the situation that was in Philly for Andy Reid. And if he trends that way, it is going to go that way, right? Like McNabb would get injured. You have to try to fill the void. You bring in new guys. You try to, change things. I think there is a ton of pressure on Andy Reid, Brett Veach, and Clark Hunt this offseason, more than there is on Josh Allen at Buffalo.
Well, I think from an NFL standpoint, Josh Allen has got all the pressure in the world. Now, micro versus macro, here in Kansas City, there is a lot of pressure. And that's why studying history is very important, because as Clark Hunt now, you're the leader of this organization. And if Andy starts to do stuff that they tried to do in Philly to kind of hang on at the end, that's where Clark Hunt has to be willing to step in and say, no, we're not doing it this way. We're not going to hold on to Chris Jones or whoever because he's been here forever and a day. We're not going to go out and sign that 35-year-old because he has a name and it's somebody that we've known before. This has to be a total rehab, right? Like you have some good players here on this team. Nobody doubting any of that. But there's plenty of room for a rebuild. There's plenty of room for a gut job. Look at it as your house. You need a new kitchen, right? You're going to tear that thing out. The Chiefs need a new kitchen. They probably need a couple of new bathrooms. But you know what? That family room's okay. We can let that kind of hang out. But you know what? If we have to make some changes to the family room to make our kitchen better, you have to be willing to make those changes to your family room to make your kitchen better. And so that's the kind of the stock that Clark Hunt needs to take in all of this as the owner of this franchise. Find out, what you believe in going forward, who you believe in going forward. Keep a certain amount of players that you feel that you can win with, but also don't limit yourself to what you want to do. And if one of those good players, like let's say Chris Jones or Trent McDuffie, makes more sense to trade, then you have to do that. And I think trading Trent McDuffie is a major piece to this offseason and moving forward and getting the most back in return. You have to start looking at your roster and say, okay, are we going to be good this year? Maybe not. Let's trade some of these guys because some of these guys are more valuable to you as a trade piece than they are on your roster. You have to be able and willing to part with some people that you may not want to part with.
I mean, you look at Brett Veach. We've always said, well, he's had to pick late in the first round. Now Brett Veach is going to pick mid to low mid in the first round. Andy Reid's not going to have, the strength of his quarterback to start a season. Now, I know there's people on the text line that say, where are you getting this 9 to 12 month stuff on an ACL? I've heard 6 months. I don't think that's the case. Now, again, I'm not claiming to be an athlete of any way, shape, or form. We all know that. The eye test doesn't lie. I've torn my ACL. In fact, I tore my meniscus, ACL, and MCL all in one pop. And it was like 9 months to 10 until I was actually to where I felt like I was normal. But again, athletes are different. Bobby Stroop is different. But to me, that's not the conversation today. The conversation is, yes, he tore the ACL. Now it's time to, raise this whole thing up. And I don't mean raise in raise the flag up. I mean tear it down and bring it back up because that's the way this team has to move forward. And there's individuals that are going to be held accountable in this year because when things are it's like you hear in sermons or you hear from people that tell you you never judge a character by when things are going well. You judge a character by when things are going wrong. And when things are down and out, you look at your leaders to be the leaders. And that is on Andy, that is on Brett, and that is on Clark to all get together and say, all right, guys, this cannot happen again. Where do we start? And let the meetings begin because you ain't playing for anything else the rest of the year. There's nothing to prove.
Oh, you should be talking about next year now.
Correct. We talked about it with, I forget who it was, but it was right after the Chiefs. I think it was Ned, right after the Royals lost the World Series in 2014. That night, Dayton and Ned and everybody were in a room going, all right, how do we get back here and how do we do something different to get to where we want to get? And they were,
It was the morning after the Game 7 loss, and we were all on the field celebrating that team. Remember when we did that thing at the stadium? And everybody was celebrating the 14 team. The entire front office was upstairs around a table, and Dayton was throwing out pamphlets to everybody saying, all right, here's the offseason plan. Let's get moving. Let's get moving. Let's get moving. And that's what the Chiefs should be doing today. There's no reason to worry about Tennessee or Denver or who's the last game of the season against? The Raiders. right? There's no reason to worry about those games. You have to worry about now what's going to be done in the future. And I can promise you the players aren't worried about these last 3 games. Some are trying to make a roster somewhere else, and you'll see some of that, and they don't want to give up on the opportunities, but human nature is what it is, and everybody's moving on. Everybody's looking forward to next season. And there needs to be a portion of every single day for Andy Reid and Brett Veach and Clark Hunt to sit down over these next couple of weeks and just kind of have a conversation about what you're thinking about next season, what you're thinking about staff changes, what you're thinking about player personnel. There is a lot to be discussed right now. And I keep saying it because it is real. And then, oh, by the way, you're dealing with this stadium stuff, which has a hard deadline of December 22nd in the state of Kansas. So there's a lot going on right now for this franchise. And they always say when it rains, it pours right now, right? It is pouring at Arrowhead Stadium. But they got an opportunity to fix this thing and change things up and, have an eventful offseason that's going to make people forget about this past year. But they got a lot of work to do, man. Like, it is moving as fast as you possibly can move.
Coming up on the other side, speaking of movement, I don't think we will see a lot of that in the future. And Josh Klingler joins us here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan. Fescoe and Dusty is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you something. My friends at QC Kinetics are done with you dealing with pain. That's right. They're saying enough. Make 2026 the year you live pain-free. Right here in Kansas City, QC Kinetics believes that relief doesn't have to come from surgery or pain pills. They use your body's own natural healing abilities to repair and restore what's been lost, helping you move, live, and feel like yourself again. It's your body's comeback story, powered by the very cells that built you in the first place. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery, just your body remembering how to feel alive again. QC Kinetics delivers long-term relief, making the new year your turning point where pain stops defining you. So take that first step, literally, and get in touch with my friends over at QC Kinetics. You'll be glad you did, and you want to enjoy the holidays moving around as much as you possibly can. So schedule that free consultation today. Now's a great time to use your HSA and FSA for treatments. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, it's QC Kinetics.
Thanks for calling the Holiday Gift Line from the Missouri Lottery. If you still have presents to buy, don't panic. Missouri Lottery holiday scratchers and draw games are perfect for everyone on your list 18 and over. And you don't even need a gift receipt. Happy holiday gifting from the Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
Well, I'll tell you, it is cold outside, right? And I know you're walking by your windows and you're feeling that breeze and you're thinking, man, why are we getting free air conditioning in the middle of winter? Well, it ain't free air conditioning. It's bad windows, or maybe it's bad doors that you have right now. You need to get all of those taken care of, and you want to do it in a stress-free way. That's where my friends at West Shore Home come into play. They're proving home remodeling doesn't have to be stressful. They have real-time scheduling and precision scan-to-plan accuracy. They make your remodel fast, easy, and convenient. And that's why hundreds of thousands of homeowners have trusted West Shore Home to transform their bathrooms, windows, and their doors. Right now, when you buy a full bath remodel, you'll get a second shower for free and lock in an extra $500 off just for listening to the show. But you need to schedule that now. So get your phones out and schedule today at westshorehome.com/fan. That's westshorehome.com/fan. It's my friends at West Shore Home.
Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From sportswear to suits and sports coats and sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
At KCUC, you see the best in KC. With more than 50 expert providers and 20 convenient locations, you get the care you need quickly and close to home. From advanced diagnostics to the latest treatments, KCUC offers cutting-edge technology that sets us apart. It's no wonder we're the region's premier urology and oncology center. You deserve the best. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 35 northbound heavy from Shawnee Mission Parkway up past Antioch with an accident blocking the left lane as you enter the 635 interchange. Downtown, 35 northbound ramp to 70 eastbound heavy with new trouble reporting there. Delays from 12th Street. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Tough day in the NFL yesterday, not just for the Chiefs fans, for athletes in general. Ian Rappaport reports that there are now, to believe, 3 ACL injuries yesterday in football. Patrick Mahomes was one with a torn ACL. Micah Parsons believed to also have torn his ACL. And wide receiver Devontae Adams out with a hamstring injury, plus a Ravens defensive player as well with an ACL tear as well. So just a tough day, NFL. Week 15 in full force.
Sucks, man. You hate to see good players injured. It doesn't matter what team you root for.
Right.
The league is better with Michael Parson in it. The league is better with Patrick Mahomes. The league is better with Joe Burrow in it. And all these guys, man. And I know people love to take those victory laps because players go down. The league just isn't as fun. It isn't as good. And I'll bet you the playoffs just aren't as exciting without Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs part of them this year.
Yeah. Obviously, there are sidebar conversations with yesterday's injury to Patrick Mahomes with the ACL injury. A lot of people's questions then go on to, obviously, the offseason, what you do. And then another big talking point that came out of the injury is like, does this mean for sure now that this is where Travis Kelce just says, I'm going to take the exit ramp, and it's been nice?
Yeah, I think you have to at this point in time, unless you don't want to go out with your last pass coming from Gardner Minshew. But no, it's time. I think we have seen it this year, with Travis. Not that his play is diminished, on the field. He's had some drops, obviously. But, I mean, his play, he still looks like he can go out there and play and be an important part of, what they're trying to do here in Kansas City. But I think now, is a good opportunity for everybody ready to go out. Hell, if Andy wanted to go out after this season, I wouldn't, look at him and hesitate and say, oh, my God, I can't believe you're leaving, after this season. Everybody inside that organization, I can attest from just the conversations, is exhausted, man. Like, everybody right now is exhausted from the last 8 to 10 years and everything that they've poured into going out there and creating and giving us the best 8 to 10 years that we've ever had as sports fans in Kansas City, right? They have given us so much, and the bill eventually comes due, as it does all the time in professional sports. And so, look, if Andy wanted to walk away and say, I'm tired, I'm done, if anything that happens, I wouldn't be surprised this offseason, because everything is up for discussion. Everything is up for debate. Everything is up for scrutiny this offseason. When you don't make the playoffs, that's just what happens. And I'm not saying Andy is retiring or anything like that. I don't expect that, but I wouldn't be shocked if he decided that this was the right time for him to walk away as well.
I would be shocked if he left it this way. I don't think, you always want to leave things better than when you found them.
Yeah.
And he found this thing, the worst it's ever been. So
Right.
I would be 100% shocked if Andy walked away. I would be even more shocked if everybody on the staff is back next year as well.
That's not
because
gonna happen.
We can talk about, where things went wrong this year. There's a lot of avenues you could take on what went wrong. You could start with wide receivers. You could start with, offensive line injuries. You could start with lack of defensive pressure up front. You could start with Mahomes running too much, which I take that and I look at what we've seen in the past where they used to sneak Mahomes up the middle. Injury happens to his knee. You haven't seen that play, and you won't see that play ever again. I see Patrick Mahomes, who ran for his life this year and used his legs a ton. In fact, the only touchdown yesterday came from a Mahomes scramble up the middle. Looked like those playoff legs were in full force. And then he does tear his ACL, on which a knee that he was having problems with. They had the heated wrap that was around his leg in that game against Dallas or whatever, or against Houston. And then they kind of brought it up in the game here, and then inevitably that happens at the end of the game. He tears his ACL. You'd got to think, like, maybe now at the age of 31, almost will be 32 by the end of next year, that we'll start seeing a dominant presence of Patrick Mahomes being a pocket passer. And if that's going to happen, then by God, you better get receivers that can get open. You better get a running back that can run the ball, and you better have a line that can staple it up.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And, at one point during the game yesterday, well before the injury, I think it was in the first half, they said with that run, Patrick Mahomes now has more rushing yards this year than he's had in any other season, and we still have 3.5 more games to go, in the regular season. And I thought about that yesterday. I'm like, that can't be the case next year, right? And obviously then the injury happens and it changes everything. But I think a big reason why, and a part of the reason why, that injury happened is because he is trying to roll out. He is trying to make plays happen. And do you attribute that to the wide receivers not getting open, the line not blocking, Mahomes having happy feet? I think there's a combination of a lot of things in there that have kind of turned the season the way that it did. And if we're going to limit what Patrick Mahomes does from an offensive and a run standpoint, then they really do have to go out there and not just get better wide receivers, but get a legitimate wide receiver coach. Go out there and, as you mentioned, get that running back, because if you're going to try to change the style, which I hope they don't, because I don't want to put limitations on Patrick Mahomes, but I also understand as he's getting older, you're going to have limitations, because as I get older, I understand I have limitations and I'm not playing in the NFL. And so I just look at, what they've got going on right now and seeing him being that leading rusher. They've got to get supplements in there to make sure that he doesn't have to be the leading rusher for this football team ever again.
He's traded sleep for tennis elbow and Bob for high school kids.
That's John Klinger.
But he's still the best in the business down there on the sidelines.
Let's go to the sideline. There's Josh Klingler.
It's Watson. Yeah, twice tonight. Justin Watson gets the big play. Jalen Watson gets the big play.
Here's Chiefs Radio Network sideline reporter Josh Klingler with Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Watson, yes!
Join us now, as you just heard in the promo, Josh Klingler, the sideline reporter for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll start it this way. From your ears to our ears, what was the vibe like when Mahomes is down?
Turn out the lights, the party's over.
Mm-hmm.
They say all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow starts the same old thing again.
I didn't know that verse of this song, but that was really good. You're good on Monday Night Football, aren't you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I should just play Don Meredith, but thought I'd give it a whirl myself.
You and I are probably the only ones who know that, because I was thinking the same thing driving in this morning. Turn out the lights, the party's over.
It was, it kind of brought the season to a merciful end. But the injury was just, you kind of just threw your arms up and saying, really, this is how this thing's going to go? Because had they lost the game, I think I probably wasn't alone. I was already thinking of like who are you going to shut down? Like who are you going to, if you're eliminated from the playoffs, just get anybody out to prevent something like that happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then it happened before you had the chance to even do that. That totally stinks. I guess the only thing you can kind of root for now is that Patrick Mahomes has been a fabulous healer in the past, and you hope he heals quickly. And, we can all do the math. 9 months from now is pretty doggone close to the beginning of the season. So you hope that he's able to whiz through this thing like he's done before and, is ready to go for opening day.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of these, fast healers, obviously, Josh, and I think we're all thinking that, by the time September gets here, we'll probably have a good idea that maybe he'll only miss a couple of games and get this thing started. But I feel like, and this is the way that I envisioned it, like he's already had the surgery. He went in at like 8 o'clock this morning. They're already in there taking care of it, and rehab starts tomorrow. Like that's the way you got to believe with this guy.
Yeah, you're gonna have a video posted from the trainer that he's flipping tires and doing all kinds of stuff, and he's off and running. But I mean, that just brings a whole new storyline into this off season too. I mean, this off season was probably going to be interesting anyway. If they made the playoffs or they didn't make the playoffs, and then what else is ahead? And now you got to think about Patrick doing rehab too. So just an unbelievable kind of finish to whatever we end up dubbing 2025's Chiefs season, because it's certainly been just pretty much full of everything.
How big a decision is the backup quarterback now going into next season? Like that needs to be something that for the first time since Andy Reid got here, an actual conversation of not just backup quarterback, but who's going to be potentially your starting quarterback, because that's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah, I think you have to probably really look at somebody that can get out of the gates quick. I've been doing my research. Who gets out of the gates quickly? There's been slow starters, right? You always hear about, somebody starts slow and then they pick it up. Who's a fast starter? Has Phillip Rivers got a few left? I don't know. No, you're going to have to probably take that into consideration, because I think as of right now, I don't know that you can plan on beginning of next season he being the starting quarterback. So yeah, I think it's gonna, maybe it's Gardner Minshew again. Maybe instead of having the rotating, guy that you've had every year now recently, maybe it's somebody that knows the offense. It's been through this before, and maybe it's him for 2 games. I don't know. That's not going to please everybody. I get it, because I don't think you can say, hey, find a guy that can really give you a couple game spell that's a stud. It's probably going to be a backup quarterback that's going to have to play some minutes early on. So, wow, what I can't believe that that's something we're thinking about and talking about right now, because I was really hoping they'd find a way to stick it out at least until the final weekend and make this thing kind of interesting, and it fell flat quickly yesterday.
When you look at this team and the cornerstone players on the roster, do you think there are more of them gone next year or more of the coaching staff gone next year?
I don't know. I mean, I think, the evaluation process begins now. There are games to be played. So at least from a player perspective, now I don't think that probably affects, kind of who you think are your cornerstone guys, because I don't think I don't know, what Andy Reid's going to say about how many guys are going to play, but I mean, I'm not playing anybody that is older, is veteran, is not going to be, or is going to be part of my future. So maybe you certainly from a young player standpoint, you're evaluating everybody and you're throwing everybody out there, and it's evaluation time. Like, are you going to show us something in the last 3 games on tape that warrants coming back. And then I guess, you probably have the opportunity anyway with these 3 games to not make it about week to week and make it about evaluations. And that may come from, upstairs. I don't know if they'd look at these 3 games any differently than they would, if you were playing for the playoffs, but I guess it gives you the opportunity to do so if you're so inclined. And I would, I guess I'd take advantage of this opportunity. Like, you're going to look at everything after this season, because you have a Patrick Mahomes-led team that is 6-8 and not in the playoffs, and you didn't have a rash of knockdown injuries. Yes, you had an offensive line that was vastly different than what you thought it was going to be in the last couple of weeks, but you had a Patrick Mahomes-led team that didn't make the playoffs. That's something where you look in the mirror and you look around the rooms and you make sure you got everybody in place to make another run. Already you're hearing it, right, in the national level. It's done. It's over.
Right.
You want to tell everybody, no, it's not. It's just going to be a little bit different, and we're going to add, and we're going to reload, and we're going to be back. So whatever that takes, that's on the front office and Andy Reid to get it figured out.
One more on that before we kind of move forward a little bit too. When you look at off seasons where they didn't win the Super Bowl, they always go in and they make these drastic changes. You didn't make the playoffs this year. I expect coaching staff changes. I expect major roster changes on this. What do you think is going to be the biggest change that we see going into this off season?
Well, I mean, I still think probably whatever the Kelsey decision is, right?
Yeah, right.
I still think that's probably the biggest one, because that's a major change. I mean, even if even if he comes back, I think that's kind of major change. I think everybody thought this was it. So if he's done, then it's still a regime. It's an era change, and you're taking one of the prime pieces out. If you make a big splashy trade, certainly that would be something that would be kind of earth shattering. I don't think, aside from that, there'd be anything I'd be majorly surprised at this phase. I can't think of anything that would make you say, "Wow, that's a drastic change." I mean, maybe Steve Spagnuolo, maybe he does take a head coaching job. Maybe he retires. I haven't heard any of that. Don't want any of that. I'd love those guys to just coach till whenever. So, Andy Reid if he makes some kind of decision to really vastly, change the offense, or maybe bring on a voice or something, I guess that would kind of be ground shaking. But other than that, I mean, I don't think it's going to be anything that they, overturn the boat for, because I don't really think you need to. I think this was game by game, very close to being what you wanted it to be. You just had to figure out, what went wrong and why you couldn't get there. And I don't know if it's a major type overhaul, but certainly there needs to be kind of a message shakeup probably too, because for whatever reason, this team didn't jive.
You look at what will be the final 3 games, right? You've got Tennessee, Denver, Vegas. Obviously now Vegas will just be the Gardner Minshew rematch game, right? That'll be where he'll go. So that's something to look forward to. What do you look forward to moving on the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, I guess it's young players. They won't be in the camp. I won't be in the camp. But, at this point, you are looking at draft position, which I hate to be in that position, because, man, it'd really favor them if they just dump 3 games.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be in that. They're not going to be in that, right? So, but you have 2 really bad teams in Tennessee and Vegas coming up. And then can you show some fight on Christmas Day against Denver? We had a team come and kind of dump on you at Christmas when they weren't supposed to. Let's go ahead and be that team somehow, some way. Knock Denver down at Christmas. That'd be kind of fun to see. And then, yeah, for sure the young players. I want to see a bunch of Noah Williams. I want to see Ashton Gelati. I thought had a really good game yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, he's been flying around the last couple of weeks, and you kind of just see it like he's been kind of cut loose a little bit, and I like where he goes. I mean, the 2 young offensive linemen who are having to play, all right, these are real reps for you. We got to see what you got along the offensive line, if not exactly for now, but certainly for the future. So those guys playing certainly would be important. Can you let Rashard Smith run the football a little bit? I know it's a patchwork offensive line, but can you hand it off to him a little bit and see if he can give you a little something? Extra reps for him would be nice. So those types of things, I guess, mainly the young people, and then anybody you think's coming back. If I could wrap him in bubble wrap, I would. I just wouldn't. You saw it firsthand yesterday. Like one of your key pieces gets an injury like that, and it messes up the entire offseason for him. So again, no one's to blame for that. It's just an unlucky thing. But don't put yourself in that position when you don't have to with games that are meaningless now.
What was Travis like in the locker room, Josh?
I thought last week he kind of sat in his locker and was kind of staring towards the sky and wasn't really saying much to other teammates. Yesterday kind of got dressed and ready, and the media was there, and he kind of said, now's not the time. He thinks he said, now's not the time. I'll talk to you guys during the week or something, and then he kind of left. But I think he's been pretty reflective probably the last few weeks. Hasn't really been interested in talking in the locker room the way it's gone, and we'll see if he speaks kind of outside the podcast this week and kind of gives his thoughts. I'm guessing, he probably didn't want to be pressed yesterday after the game with it being like the finality of it, even though there's 3 games left. The finality was there yesterday, right? So probably didn't want to necessarily think about having to answer something about, well, season's over, technically. What's your career? So he kind of got out yesterday before probably those types of questions came, because he probably, in all honesty, wasn't ready to answer them. And can't say this time that I would blame him.
I also don't think that was the time to ask him about that question. Obviously, is starting.
No, but it would be. I mean, one, you'd ask about Mahomes, then you'd be like, well, the season's over. Someone I think would probably ask that, and so go ahead and drift out.
Percentage in your mind that he's done. Gun to your head.
Well, I mean, isn't there a part of you today that says, well, one, unsatisfied with, unfinished business and didn't get to the playoffs and doesn't want to see that. And then now, two, your running mate, come back with your running mate, help him back from his injury. I mean, come on. And then thirdly, I mean, I'm Brett Veach. Isn't Taylor's favorite number 13? Like, we can get him down from whatever, 13 million. Let's go 1 year. Let's make this happen.
Hey, you looking forward to a lot of noon games next year?
Oh, yeah. Somebody texted me that last night. I'm like, really?
It wasn't me.
I'm like, this is, no, it wasn't you. But I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that was like a extra kick in the gut. They're like, yeah, you're playing a lot of games at noon next year. I'm like, oh man. The Chiefs are still a draw though. You know what I mean? So, you've seen all those numbers that say people were intrigued by their failures this year. So
yeah,
I don't think there'll be probably a few more, because there'll be some. Certainly the first couple of games.
I was going to say, we'll know when Mahomes is coming back based on when the first primetime game is scheduled, Josh.
Yeah, exactly. The Thursday night prime game might tell you a good indication of when he's going to be back.
October 7th, yes.
All right, Kling.
Could be.
We'll talk to you next Monday after a Tennessee Titans and Kansas City Chiefs game. That means nothing that we didn't think that was going to happen here at the end of the season. So we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you next Monday, buddy.
I will not sing. I'll leave that to Bob and Cody.
Appreciate
that.
that.
You can leave it to me. That's fine.
Coming up on the other side, when did you know this season wasn't happening? We'll explain where we were at here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is George Karlaftis, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
I'll tell you what, we're getting close to that Christmas holiday, right? We're 10 days away, and you're looking around, you're going, oh boy, it's going to take forever to ship something here. So here's what I want you to do. You need to go see my friends over at Newton James, because they're Kansas City's newest classic menswear boutique and accessory store. Whether you're buying something for you or whether you're buying something for that special dude on your list, Newton James is going to take care of you. And they have have taken care of me. I've gotten great shoes at Newton James, some great pants at Newton James, and I got a brand new hoodie that I absolutely love from my friends over at Newton James. And we're talking about quality merchandise that is going to knock your socks off, guys, literally and figuratively. Some of the best designers from the U.S., the U.K., and Japan. And they've got their new seasonal collection out now at Newton James. You've got to check it out. All the great colors are going to go early, so get on down to Newton James at 80th and Metcalf and take advantage of the best menswear boutique in Kansas City. Guys, go buy something special for yourself. Ladies, go down there and shop for your guys because they've got everything every guy wants. And I know, I love Newton James. They got great clothing. They've got great brands. They've got everything to make me look good at work, whether I have to go out for the night, whether it's on the golf course, wherever the case may be, you can look your best when you shop at Newton James. And at Newton James, they believe someone has to be the best dressed man in the room. It might as well be you. Check them out on Instagram or at newtonjames.com.
Looking to drive your finances downfield? Main Street Credit Union is the hometown team you can trust. We help you build credit, lower monthly expenses, and finance with confidence. Or if you need a loan to grow your small business, we've got flexible options and no hidden fees. At Main Street, it's not just about the win, it's about keeping Kansas City moving forward. One goal, 1 yard, one member at a time. Get in the game at mainstreetcu.org.
Men, we hear it all the time. A man comes in to get his erectile dysfunction treated, and very soon thereafter, he tells us that his relationship is renewed. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and you should know that ED doesn't just affect you, it also often affects your partner. They can feel undesired, unwanted, they may even feel like you don't love them anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we've successfully treated thousands of men for ED with protocols that have success rates as high as 90%. Which means if you're like most men, we can get you back to the guy you used to be. You could even last up to an hour or more and find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and give your partner the gift of renewed love. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Now when I say nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide. Is both. Nationwide. Is both. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/play.
This holiday season, give your family, clients, and coworkers the gift of Booth Creek Wagyu beef. Booth Creek Wagyu gift boxes provide the world's best steaks, burgers, hot dogs, jerky, sausages, and seasonings that are changing the way America eats beef. Choose from mouth-watering options like the classic sirloin box for less than $100, or go big with the amazing Grill Masters Reserve box. Order yours today at boothcreekwagyu.com or visit one of their 2 convenient locations at 95th and Knoll or 135th Street in Metcalf.
Guys, you've heard of TRT, but you have no idea what testosterone can do for you.
Once you start treatment, you'll wish you'd done it sooner. All the guys I know go to Synergen X and Low T Center for their TRT needs. The TRT test is free, not hundreds of dollars. The test is pure, not compounded. Guys feel full of energy, not like they're still waiting for it to kick in. So get in now for your free TRT test. No appointment necessary before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com.
Chiefs coverage this past hour has been brought to you by waysidewaves.org. Save a life this holiday season.
Wayside rescues thousands of animals each year. Your gift today provides a complete circle of life-saving care they need to heal and find loving homes. Donate today, and your gift will be matched. Visit waysidewaves.org to make your life-saving gift today.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 35 northbound, still a little slow from before Antioch up into the 635 interchange with an accident. That's off to the left shoulder. In downtown, things moving better. 35 northbound moves well from 670 up to I-70. Briefly sluggish on the transition ramp to eastbound. Alan Carr, 96 The Fan. Traffic.
Some baseball news that has come out via Jeff Passan. First baseman Josh Bell and the Minnesota Twins are in an agreement on a one-year contract with mutual option, sources tell ESPN. Bell, 33, switch hitting first base /DH for a Twins team, making its first big league signing of the winter. And according to Ken Rosenthal, Royals still interested and want Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran. So, baseball hot stove moving forward. I know it's depressing at times to see the Chiefs season end, but what can be fun is that little voice that you are starting to hear in the back of your head is Josh Vernier, as that hot stove will be starting earlier this year because the Chiefs will not be in the playoffs. And you look at this season, and obviously you could start now. I think a lot of people have done that, right? Like you have Christmas 10 days away. Hanukkah has started. The holiday season is in full force. You've got, school going out. You're going to have, everything's going to be there. But you can go back and look at this season. You can kind of ask yourself, when did you know, right? Like, when did this not feel like those Chiefs of past seasons, right? Like, even when it was 11-6, you were like, well, that Christmas Day game sucked, but, if they can just get Rashee Rice involved a little bit more, I think they'll be all right. And they won a Super Bowl. Last year, you're 15-1 with your starters. Nobody's losing close games. You're like, if they can just get a little bit of production on offense and stop holding the defense, out there on an island hoping they can do it, I think they'll be fine. It was never like, well, I don't know, man, if they don't win this game or they don't lose this game, when did you know that this wasn't the same sort of vibe for the Chiefs when it came to this year?
Yeah, we were sitting around Hanukkah yesterday having, dinner, and my friend Lori, who's my friend Paul's wife, says to me, she goes, God, remember when we were watching that game against the Chargers and, the opener, and it just didn't feel right? I'm like, yeah, we did have those conversations sitting there on that Friday night, but you eventually thought they would pick it up, right? And because that's always what they've done. They always said, and not said, but shown you that when times get tough, they always figure out a way, right? Well, obviously this year they didn't figure out the way to get that done. And so I go back to Jacksonville. I've been saying it now for the last couple of weeks. If I'm titling the season, it's One Night in Jacksonville, because even though I thought, you look at what happened in that Jacksonville game, I figured they'd recover and they'd be just fine. But that opened up a bunch of just kind of sores, wounds, whatever you want to call it, about this team, with the turnovers, with the penalties, with the not having the energy, the bad special teams, like everything from that Jacksonville game that we were talking about is the reason why we're sitting here now at the end of the season with no postseason. Bad penalties, bad turnovers, bad special teams, bad play calling, bad decision-making at times by the quarterback. And so all of those things that took place in that Jacksonville game, that really was, when you go back and look at it with hindsight being 2020, the moment we all should have known. But even at that point in time, I thought, they'll still win games and whatnot. But I think deep down, that was the blueprint right there for this entire season, was that game against Jacksonville.
Yeah, for me, it was after the bye and the loss to Denver. We had Rob Brenton on the roundtable this past Friday, and he kind of alluded to that as well, because you know the record after the bye. You would think that, yeah, you lose to Buffalo in the regular season. You just won 3 in a row against, below average teams. I mean, the Detroit win was impressive. Probably will be the most impressive win of the season. I know their defense was beat up, but, I go back to when they won those 3 games and, people were mad at me when I was like, hey, stay humble. They didn't beat really anybody that great. Yeah, they won 31-0. That's great. They beat the Raiders. Well, the Raiders got shut out again by the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. And Washington, I know they beat the New York Giants. That team, whatever that game was, I'm not really sure what you can judge from that. And then I was like, I'm not really going to put much criticism on the Buffalo game because you lose that game every single year.
Correct.
And then we came back from the bye and did the shows, and we're like, all right, Andy Reid's 22-4. Binkley's laying out the typical stats that you don't go against the Chiefs with.
Right.
And you watch that Denver game, and you're like, man, 3rd and 14, 3rd and 16, can't get off the field. That doesn't seem like a normal Chiefs team of the past, and it wasn't. And, I go into that Indianapolis week in Week 12, I was like, I don't think this is a playoff team. I don't think this team's making the playoffs. I think there's something off, whether it's communication, whether it is roster development, whether it's just whatever it was. And again, I understand that people didn't like hearing that, but that was just from what my eyes showed me from this team. And now you look at the schedule, and since that Buffalo game, they've won 1 game since Week 9. They have lost 5 games out of their last 6, and now the season is officially over. But there were signs, like you have in a relationship that, maybe goes 6 months, right? The honeymoon phase might have been week 6 through 8. Oh, yeah, nothing can go wrong when you first meet them, but then there are red flags, right? There's the red flag of Chris Jones in Jacksonville. There's the red flag of Travis Kelce in the Philadelphia game. There's a red flag of Chris Jones trying to be the hero in Week 1 against Justin Herbert.
Yep.
And it just kind of added up throughout the season. And then yesterday was kind of the cherry on top of the cake of season's over. Now you have to rebuild. And I think that's why there is a ton of pressure on somebody like Andy Reid and Brett Veach, because to Brett Veach's credit, he's, made moves. He's gotten draft picks on this team that whether you like him or not, whether you liked where they picked or not, he has had good picks on this team. You look at that draft class that has not missed the playoffs since they've been drafted. McDuffie, Chenal, Karlaftis, all those guys. Yeah, they're not, earth movers of players, maybe outside of McDuffie at a time. But again, like, you were picking 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 in that mold.
And that's in every round. That's just not the first round. You're picking that last or next to last in every single round for the last 7 years.
And now you're going to have a pick potentially between picks, 11 and 15?
Most likely, depending how the rest of the season goes, yeah.
And you're going to have that opportunity. It's obviously looked a little off with the offense the last couple of years. You'll have reevaluation there, whether it's coaching, whether it's roster players, whether it's maybe we thought these guys were going to do it and they just didn't do it for us. And then you've got a quarterback who's going to rehab a torn ACL in the offseason and have to come back even better. You'll have an offensive line that hopefully is, by the time next year goes, they're all good to go. You found somebody in Esapole as well. Juwan Taylor, I don't think, will be here next year. So it is a year in which you will revamp. And I think when you talk earlier about who you want to see them go get in the offseason as a quarterback, I mean, Gardner Minshew's going straight to Andy's desk, I think, right now and goes, hey, I'm here until Pat's back. And once Pat's back, it's his job. But trust me that I can sustain it and watch what I can do the rest of the season. Or maybe you go take a flyer on a guy like Mac Jones, or you take a flyer on a guy that's out there that, played this year, filled in a void, and would be a good backup in case something like that happens until Mahomes is ready. Or, hey, we've seen crazier things, and maybe Mahomes takes a snap on the first play of the game of the season. I'm not betting on that.
No, I'm not betting against that either at this point in time. I'm not betting on it, but I'm also not betting against it because you're right. This guy has done miraculous thing. Now he is in his 30s now, so things change. The body heals a lot differently and whatnot. But as you're kind of talking through all of this, and we're saying, when did we know? When did we figure this thing out? I think ultimately the reason why we are here is because of two people, and it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. We just did not get the best out of those two guys this season. We definitely did not get the best Andy Reid this year. I mean, you can just look at Andy on the sidelines and you can tell just something is just not there this season, whether it's exhaustion, whether he's just tired, whether he's, out of ideas, whatever the case may be. We did not get the best of Andy Reid this year, and we did not get the best of Patrick Mahomes this year. And when your entire organization is built on those two guys, because that's what we've said all along, I got trust because of Andy and Patrick, Andy and Patrick, Andy and Patrick. When those two guys that you trust and believe in and look towards for all of this guidance don't bring their best, which again is human nature because they brought their best for the last 10 years, it's going to have situations like this. When the two guys you rely on the most aren't at their best, it's hard for you as an organization to be at your best.
No doubt about it. Coming up on the other side, the imagery that was put into our vision yesterday, plus what the news of the day is, and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs missing the playoffs. More on that on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
This is Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
All right, my friends over at QC Kinetics, let me tell you something. These guys are going to get you without the pain. That's right. You're tired of all that pain, and now it's the holiday season. You just want to enjoy life for the next couple of weeks, right? And during the holidays, it's tough because you're constantly moving. But in 2026, all that pain could change when your body remembers how to heal. It just needs a little help finding the way back. QC Kinetics right here in Kansas City believes relief doesn't have to come from surgery or pain pills. They use your body's own natural healing abilities to repair and restore what's been lost, helping you move, live, and feel like yourself again. It's your body's comeback story, powered by the very cells that built you in the first place. With no surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery, just your body remembering how to feel alive again. QC Kinetics delivers long-term relief to make the new year your turning point where pain stops defining you. So it's time to take that first step and enjoy the holidays and live without wincing. With QC Kinetics, healing is within reach. So schedule your free consultation today. Now's a great time to use your HSA and FSA for treatments. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, it's QC Kinetics.
BetMGM is now available in Missouri. Sports fans in Missouri can sign up for BetMGM using bonus code DUSTY and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet does not win. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day. Get into hockey, basketball, and pro football with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM rewards points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. BetMGM is now available in Missouri. Sign up today using bonus code DUSTY to receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Minimum deposit of $10 to participate. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From sportswear to suits and sports coats and sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 965 in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
This is Dana Hughes. In Kansas City football, we honor tradition, but we always look forward to what's next. That's why I'm all in for Flight by Yingling. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, but built for today. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp, clean, and full of flavor, just the way a light beer should be. It's got the legacy and the stats to back it up. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dana Hughes. D.G. Yingling and Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 35 northbound sluggish from Antioch up to 635 with an accident in the transition to go northbound 635. Downtown 670 eastbound, heavy from 35 over towards 71 with construction. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Chiefs will be under center on first down with Kareem Hunt behind Mahomes. They fake to him. Mahomes off play action. Moving to the right, he'll throw it late. A flag thrown on the play, and it's incomplete. Mahomes is hurt. Mahomes is grabbing his leg. He's hurt. Mahomes taking a shot at the end of that play and is grabbing his leg. Well,
not too serious.
Gardner Minshew is going to have to get ready to go and try to win this game. At 1:53 to go in the game, and the Chiefs with 1st and 20 at their own 44-yard line. And the Chiefs, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time NFL MVP, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 17 playoff wins, is down and injured and appears seriously right in front of the Chiefs bench. He is up now on his backside, but he's in a lot of pain as we view it through our binoculars.
We'll talk to Mitch Holthus on Friday. That is the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, who is on the Chiefs Radio Network. So again, the news yesterday was Patrick Mahomes, in fact, did tear the ACL. Got to think rehab and surgery coming pretty quick. So again, that was yesterday. Playoffs, missing the playoffs, I think, took a back seat to the news. I think if you were to ask a lot of people from yesterday, like, what was worse, knowing that you're actually officially eliminated or the fact that your superstar quarterback tore his ACL, I think 100% people would say the ACL. Because, I mean, that is what I would consider the face of the league, the best quarterback in the league since 2018. And you hate to see it, but it seems like this always happens. It seems like every great pitcher is going to have Tommy John surgery. It seems like every great athlete in football is going to tear their ACL or Achilles tendon or whatever it may be, whether it's in the later parts of their career like Aaron Rodgers, whether it's in the middle of their career like Tom Brady, whether it's when it happens, it just seems like the inevitable is always there. And then again, you see yesterday's game, Green Bay and Denver, Michael Parsons tears his ACL as well. So, I mean, just a rough day all around in Week 15 of the NFL with superstars, but a really rough day yesterday because the imagery that we have that I think will be in a hype-up video. I mean, I know it's doomy and gloomy now, but I think in the end of it, we will see that video be like where it was and where it's at. And, you know, good luck stopping, you know, a Mahomes in this sort of adversity because we've seen it before. Dislocated knee, won the Super Bowl. Torn ACL, off-season rehab and surgery, we'll see what happens.
I mean, it's going to be a dynamic recovery to watch, from afar. I'm glad that I don't have to do what he's going to have to do because he's going to have to work harder than he's probably ever had to work before in his life to get this moving forward. And I think the real reason why the ACL is the biggest story is because it has an impact now on next season as well. And it's not like, okay, this season is over, we can start looking forward to next season. I think it's going to be very difficult for a lot of Chiefs fans to look forward to next season, depending on what we know about Patrick Mahomes, because it's always going to be that unknown. Like, we're going to want a date right away of when we think Patrick Mahomes is going to be back. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows when he's going to step foot out there on the field. And so I think that's why the ACL injury is the biggest thing. Not that the playoff streak is ended or the division streak or anything like that. Next season is officially up in the air right now because you just don't know with these injuries if he's going to be able to come back sooner rather than later. When is it going to be? How's it going to be? Is he going to trust it? All those things and all those processes that everybody goes through. Now, because of who he is, I expect him to come through this with flying colors. The question is when, though, and that's the biggest concern because now next season is a little bit in doubt. So you wasted this season. Next season is a question mark. So we're talking about 2027 until we really have the opportunity for a full season with Patrick Mahomes again healthy at that quarterback position. And by the time we get to 2027, he's 33, 34 years old at that point in time.
Yeah, because Rashee Rice tore his ACL 2 years ago in week 4.
Right.
You think he would have been ready by week 1 if he wasn't suspended?
Probably.
Yeah,
I would think so.
Probably
yeah.
wouldn't have been his true self until about week 4 or 5.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it takes time, but it takes time. Like everybody who's had these ACLs, man, they all say the same thing. You get back, and then you have to wait another year before you mentally trust that knee and mentally trust that it's going to be okay. And I hate saying that all the time again because Patrick is different than everybody else, but that is what you hear from literally everybody who's had an ACL injury. You have that mental doubt of, can I jump? Can I explode? Can I do what I did before the injury? Or you have that mental block of, I don't know if I want to do that because I don't know if I can do that. So getting over the mental block, every athlete who's had this injury will tell you that is the hardest thing about the injury is getting over that mental block. And most of them will tell you it takes a full kind of calendar year of playing before you get to that mental block. So we're talking September 2027, essentially, when we will see Patrick Mahomes at his peak prime again, just based on what we've seen for other injuries. And again, he's different than everybody else, so it could happen a lot faster. But this is a devastating injury because it is a long-term type of injury.
I think it's interesting when you look at the negatives and how you can create positives out of that, right? So like now finishing the way you are, and a positive side of it. Like the negative is that your quarterback, Superman, has torn his ACL. So now we will see Mahomes the rest of his career with that knee brace on his right knee, right? Yep. I remember when Stone Cold Steve Austin had like back-to-back knee injuries and then came out and he had 2, knee brace. I'm like, that's a different look. But hey, Steve Austin's back. He's still hitting out the stunner, still chugging the beer, give me a hell yeah, and became a new sort of, he kind of went healed and whatever. But like you look at what this is now shown, right? And I think something that you had mentioned earlier, which kind of makes a lot of sense, is that it is officially over for this year.
Right.
There is nobody sitting at the dinner table going, well, you can go hang out with Scotty over there. He thinks the season's still alive. Right. It's like, I'm good. Now it's like everybody knows, like the Band-Aid's been ripped off. The season is over, right? Mahomes is going to go until the offseason and rehab and get surgery. The next big leap that we will find out is Travis Kelce back? And I think it'll be one of those things where it's like, I'm going to go into the offseason, clear my head, and I'll come up with the decision for you guys a little bit later, right?
How long do you think he waits for that?
So my guess would be he would let the Chiefs know probably himself, but I think he would announce it before the draft. Because I think you've got to let the organization know, hey, I'm done. I think they would come back and say, are you sure you're done? And would you come back for like, I don't know, $8 to $9 million for 1 year? And he might be like, no, I think I'm done. I think it's over. But again, we can talk about that in a little bit. But I think the other thing that comes with this is that you are now going to play, a third place schedule. You play the NFC West next year. You're going to play a third place schedule. So you're not going to play Buffalo.
Right.
You're not going to play Pittsburgh, whoever finishes in the North at first or second.
So we get Cincinnati.
So there's that. But if because Cleveland will finish last, you're going to play, I don't know, the Jets, maybe. I mean, they're going to finish last in the East, but you'll play whoever, like
Dolphins,
Miami, maybe. They play
the Dolphins are still alive and the Chiefs aren't. Just put that in perspective.
Yeah, and they're going to play Pittsburgh tonight and watch them beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And so there are things that you can look forward to because that is what yesterday was. Yesterday was the closing of the book of 2025. The season is officially over. A lot of people would say it was over before that. A lot of people would say it's now, whatever it may be. But now you look at this and you say, okay, where are they picking in the draft between, 10 and 15? They're going to play a third place schedule. They're going to be able to relax. They're going to be able to mentally
There's no pressure on them.
Reset.
Yeah.
Correct. And now you get to kind of just have a hard reset, and we'll see what happens. Different coaching, different players, moves to be made, roster evaluation. It will all take place, and now you can officially begin that. You can stop prolonging that.
You can stop prolonging that. And that's like what I said. At least one day a week, for the rest of the season, these last 3 weeks, you need to be spending on next year and who's going to play and who's not going to play. And the reason I ask about Travis is because I think the longer that he waits, the better it is for maybe him coming back, to Kansas City and playing that one more year. You never want anybody to make a decision immediately after their last game and have that announcement. I know the reporters will be swimming and trying to figure out when Travis's last day is going to be, and that's their job, and they should do that kind of stuff. I don't want Travis Kelce to announce at the last day of the season or have a press conference on Tuesday after the last game of the season to announce that, he's potentially retiring. I need him to take his time, and this is kind of what happens a lot of times in the NFL. When I started on the radio here in Kansas City, Dusty, I was hired in April of 2001. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because the first thing that I had to cover when I came to KMBZ in April of 2001, it was like a week before the NFL draft, Tim Grunhard announced his retirement. And I remember that being the first thing that I kind of covered in this business, going out to Arrowhead in April to see Tim Grunhard retire. Now, I'm not saying everything has to be done that way that it was done 24 years ago, but that's when he announced that retirement. He let that kind of off-season settle in. He reflected. He thought about where he was and what was going on and came to a good decision that way. And I think that's the best way for Travis Kelce to do that because those immediate knee-jerk decisions that you want to make right away, they're not always the best decisions, And it's one of these things that I look at and I say, all right, here's what we're going to do. Travis, you just go ahead and you take as much time as you possibly need. And when you're officially official with your decision, you let us know. We're not going to put any pressure on you. We've got a spot here for you if you want it. And if you want to take something else and go somewhere else, then I understand that as well. But we don't want you to rush this decision. And I don't think I don't think Travis needs to rush that decision as well, because once you make that decision, unless you're Phillip Rivers, it's pretty much finality.
We'll talk about that a little bit more on the other side here with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and what their reign has been and what it could be moving forward here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is Creed Humphrey, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you, my friends over at Newton James are spectacular, and we're 10 days away from Christmas, right? And you're probably thinking, I can't get anything shipped here in time. You don't need to worry about that. Just go see my friends over at Newton James and buy your guy something awesome when it comes to his wardrobe, because Newton James has everything. I love shopping at Newton James because I'm wearing stuff I never thought I could wear in sizes that I never thought were possible, and the folks and then the people that run Newton James absolutely know what they're doing. They have the best designers from the United States, the UK, and Japan, and it is the classic menswear boutique and accessory store. I got some new shoes there. I got some pants there. I got some jeans there. I got a great hoodie sweatshirt from the folks over at Newton James. Their store is unbelievable, guys. I'm telling you. And gals, if you're listening for that guy in your life, the perfect place to shop for them this holiday season is at Newton James. They're located at 80th and Metcalf in downtown Overland Park. And whether it's a suit for a holiday party, a winter wedding, or a sharp everyday fit, get the best look while your size is still in stock at Newton James. So check them out today. Check them out tomorrow. 80th and Metcalf, downtown Overland Park, the best menswear store in Kansas City, and at newtonjames.com.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
You are worth more, and your car is worth more at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
It's the season to come together over your holiday favorites at Starbucks. Warm up with a creamy caramel brulee latte, get festive with an iced gingerbread chai, or share a velvety peppermint mocha. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
Do you have a dark curiosity? Heart Starts Pounding, Horrors, Hauntings, and Mysteries is a weekly podcast hosted by me, Kaylin Moore. Each week, I'll take you on a dark journey through terrifying true urban legends, bizarre true crime cases, chilling tales of backwoods horror, and more. So if you're looking to join a passionate community of the darkly curious, check out Heart Starts Pounding on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, stay curious.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you'll ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600. Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
Newton James is Kansas City's newest classic menswear boutique and accessory store. They redefine what menswear should be with the best designers from the US, the UK, and Japan. Their new seasonal collection just dropped, but the most popular colors and modern cuts always go first. So check them out today. Whether it's a suit for a holiday party, a winter wedding, or a sharp everyday fit, get the best look while your size is still in stock. At Newton James, they believe someone has to be the best dressed man in the room. It might as well be you. Check them out on Instagram or newtonjames.com.
Today, expect sunny conditions with a high of 45.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have an easy holiday at Staples. Save on top tech and gaming gifts, shipping supplies and services to get your packages there safely, even custom cards and wrapping paper. Staples. That was easy.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Small world moment. One of my buddies that I went to high school with, he's in the Mike DePasquale commercials. It's crazy to me. Like, I hear the DM Law, and I watch TV, and I'm like, hey, that's Ronald. I know that guy. He's in the commercial. Mike's got this. Chiefs lose yesterday, 16-13. They're officially out of the playoffs. Mahomes torn ACL.
Well, Chris Jones thought they were still alive, right? Or something after there. I don't know.
Is that, do you put a lot of emphasis on that?
Nah, not at all. No.
The fact that he didn't know that it was an elimination game?
Nah, I mean,
what are you talking about? You're not worried about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got to know if your season's on the
he's
line.
eliminated in Jacksonville. I mean, like, hearing that from Chris Jones this year, kind of just par for the course based on what we saw out of him.
Because what was that yesterday? He was lined up off sides. Chiefs called a timeout, and then he was lined up off sides again. Again, we talked about it, the red flags that have happened throughout the season, and it's like little minute mistakes like that just continue to add up and add up and add up. it's like having children. I don't even have any, but I'm sure that's like you get to your boiling point where you just go outside and you scream because it's, well, the trash is still there. This is dirty. It's just like if you could just clean up the little things, but it's the little things that eventually added up to the big picture, which is 5 of your last 6 games you've lost. You had to win one of those games in overtime to Daniel Jones at home. Your home record is not great. And your record is not great, as they are now 6-8 on the season. And Patrick Mahomes is not going to be on this roster, or he's on the roster, but he's not going to be playing any more games this year, and we'll have a full season of rehabbing. But it brings up the big question, because you had said earlier that you want Travis Kelce to take the time to make that decision.
Yeah.
What if I were to tell you I think that decision has already been made?
Oh, I think it has too. I really do. I think he knew going into this season it was going to be kind of the swan song, but there's that like 1% of me. And look, I've always just kind of backtrack a little bit. I've always been that kind of one guy. Once you've made your mind up to go in sports, you got to go. It's hard to get back in that mindset of being all in when you've already kind of thought to yourself, this is it, right? This is the end and whatnot. So I think he kind of knew going into the season, but there's always that 1% that's, he didn't want to go out after a Super Bowl loss and go out that way. He wanted to bring it back one more time. And so if you didn't want to go out after that Super Bowl loss because of how devastating that was, do you really want to go out after this season? And I will say to Travis Kelce on this note, as much as I'd love him to come back for one more year, I do think it's best if he does walk away, because there is that opportunity that you do come back and then Carrington's wishes and dreams come true and that he is washed. And, seeing a shell of himself is not what you want, and it can always get worse. Just ask Travis Kelce this year. You thought it was bad losing the Super Bowl and going out, then you come back and your quarterback's being taken up the tunnel, and that is an image that everybody's going to have of the 2025 season. But look, Travis Kelce has accomplished so much. He doesn't need to come back. The only is the desire and the want to, like Gronk did in Tampa, with Tom Brady and just playing with his guy one more time, because you really can't ever do that again in your life. Once you step away, you're never playing ball with Patrick Mahomes again.
I think this decision can be made, but I also think that it can be altered, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I think that he could probably, because I would assume that somebody that will probably be on the horn with Patrick Mahomes today will be Travis Kelce. And, when they get kind of post-surgery and they, talk to Bobby Stroop and get all that kind of figured out and say, when do you actually think? Is it going to be week 5? Is it going to be week 1? Is it going to be week 3? With modern sports medicine, I don't really know. I've Google searched until my eyes bled last night, and I've torn my ACL and my MCL and my meniscus all in the same thing. I am nowhere near the level of an athlete, so I'm throwing that out there and being honest with that, obviously. And it was about 10 months for me to kind of feel normal again. Now, again, I didn't have surgery for like 3 months after I tore mine because I had to walk around and make sure everything stayed strengthened and was there. I'm not an athlete. Mahomes could be under the knife. Could have already happened.
I'm surprised I would be shocked if he's not under surgery.
Because a lot of times we do see this like throughout when these injuries happen to these significant players where Mahomes has already had a surgery, was successful. Now he'll rest and rehab moving forward.
How about the way that the Chiefs handled this too yesterday? Like they've never handled an injury before. They came out and literally told us yesterday via Twitter that the MRI showed a torn ACL. We've never seen the Chiefs handle anything like that. I thought for sure today Andy'd be up there and go, I don't have anything yet. Veach is handling that, and then we never know. But yesterday was a little bit different for the Kansas City Chiefs of the way they handled that injury situation as well, too.
Yeah, and the evolution of replay when they show Mahomes kind of rolling out and you see that little wiggle pop, and we know that ACLs tend to be side to side, not front and back. Now, obviously, Wanya Morris, I think he tore his ACL. It was a straight, plop. But, it didn't look good on the injury report, and then Andy Reid said in his postgame, like, he's going to have an MRI, and it doesn't look good. And whenever you hear Andy Reid say the words, it doesn't look good, you pretty much know it's not going to be good. But, again, yesterday's negative, and maybe you disagree with this, maybe you agree with it, nothing will be as down for a Chiefs season as 2012, right? Because of everything that had happened in that season. But knowing what you had on this roster and knowing where you had been, this is probably the second worst season for me as a Chiefs fan or somebody that covers this team that I have seen, because of what was maybe promised, maybe what we thought, having Patrick Mahomes being only 30 years old, Andy Reid, everything going to 3 straight Super Bowls, and then watching this season just dissipate before our eyes. There is a lot of red on that board, not as much red that's on the board in the boss's office of everyone that missed on the touchdowns this week, which is...
Did Sky Moore score?
No, he did not.
Breaking news, no, he did not.
He did not.
No, shockingly. Sky Moore did not
score. You picked him, though, to score.
Well, at this point,
I'm down $120 to Drew. I got to do
deep,
something.
Baby. We're digging deep, because if he did score, I'm back, But, you look at what this season was, and now you look at what this season is. It's been a season of ups and a lot of downs and a lot of, they're not necessarily out of it. Like, the Chiefs can still make it with this, this, and this. And we look like Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind putting all the algorithms up on the board. And now
I'm glad we're not at that point now.
And now you can officially tell yourself and your family and your fan base, it's over, we move on. And there's 3 weeks left in the season. So where the negatives were, there are positives at the end of the day where, you take something that is big and make it small, right? If you take the ACL injury, now you don't have Mahomes playing with an injured knee anymore on the field. You don't have the hope of trying to get to the playoffs. Now you can take these minds that need to really figure it out in Clark Hunt, Pat, and Andy Reid, and in Brett Veach. Hey, you might have a top 15 pick. For the last 9 years, you have picked picks 22 or higher in every single round, it seems like. And now
the only reason you were at 22 is because you made a trade up and got up there.
And now you might be able to find somebody in the top 15 picks of the draft, knowing that probably 2 quarterbacks are going to go. So now you're looking at, if you have the 15th overall pick, you're looking at, I'm trying to take Binkley's mock strategy here. If 2 teams are going to take a quarterback in the first 20 picks, let's say the first 17 picks, there's a chance that you're going to be really picking 15 picks because somebody's going to take an offensive lineman. That takes you out. You do not need to get an offensive lineman.
Not in the top 10,
you do not
15,
need to draft a quarterback. And now you're looking at it as like, there might be 8 guys. And I know the name Jeremiah Love gets a lot of people excited. But I do think yesterday, yes, the ACL injury, yes, the playoffs being out of the picture, kind of does give you some sort of gratitude of what you can look forward to now, even though yesterday was doom and gloom.
Well, it's easy to have closure on the season now, too. It's officially closed. There's no more hoping, wishing, praying, thinking that something may happen. This season is now officially closed, and you can really start your rebuild and your rebirth, if you will, now, today. Like, today should be the day where you walk in there and say, all right, 2026, we're here, and we're going to move forward. And I know they owe it to their coaches and their players and everybody for the final 3 weeks, but that doesn't mean the front office can't get busy and the ownership can't get busy. And again, I know they have a lot on their plate with, the stadium stuff looming and a Kansas LCC meeting scheduled for December 22nd to approve or whatnot, the Royals and Chiefs potentially stadiums. And so there's a lot going on in the organization. But what needs to really be going on in the organization is coming up with that game plan on how to move forward. And, this season does suck. It's not the same feeling at the end of 2012. That was anger. People were mad. That was nasty. I think people are more sad and coming to the fact of the realization of, what I've been trying to tell people for the last 10 years or so. It is eventually going to end. Please enjoy this every single day. And I think right now people have just woken up and realized that 10 years went fast. That was a very fast 10 years where we were on top of the sports world, and now we're not. And so how is this organization going to handle going from, the Super Bowl telling everybody they should be the world's team to a team that doesn't know who their starting quarterback's going to be on opening day next year? I mean, how quickly things have changed for this team. And so they're going to have an opportunity to get to work this offseason for a number of different areas and a number of different ways to kind of move this thing forward. And we'll see how they ultimately handle this thing, because there's going to be changes on the coaching staff. There's going to be changes on the roster. Hell, there may be changes in the front office with guys leaving and taking other jobs elsewhere as well. So I think this is an opportunity for kind of a rebirth and a regrowth, if you will, of what the Kansas City Chiefs under the next era of Patrick Mahomes is going to look like.
I think this offseason, the most pressure for a Chiefs member is Andy Reid. I think you have to look at where this year went south, where it started to sour. And you could say it was Jacksonville. You can say it was the Denver game. That's when I kind of looked at this team and said, okay, Andy Reid off of a bye. They go into, play Denver. Didn't look like the team that you would think would coming off a bye. The defense couldn't get off the field. They were kind of knowing what you were doing on offense. You weren't really having that mojo that the Chiefs have had in the past. We know that Andy Reid was 22-4 coming off the bye. This year, they don't win that game. And since that Denver game, they've won one game in their last 5 weeks. And it just hasn't been the same team. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of red flags in this season where it came down to they're not disciplined. They're tipping their plays or their pitches, whatever you want to say. And then by God, by the end of it, it's an ACL injury and the season is officially over. So I think that there is a lot of pressure to put on Andy Reid in this offseason because I think you will have to revamp the coaching staff. I think you'll have to revamp the roster. I think there will be tough decisions to be made. And that comes also from Clark Hunt, man. It's time to not go back to this. And the last time the season was, as bad, at least what I've said is 2012. You brought in Andy Reid and you said, hey, do whatever you need to do to get this team back to where it needs to be. And the same thing goes for this offseason. Clark, it's open up that checkbook and tell Andy Reid and Brett Veach, whatever you need, I'll just nod my head and say yes because I don't want to go through this again.
Right, and that's where I think for me the offseason, you'd mentioned Andy having a hard job this offseason, and you're right about that because he has to look into the mirror and admit things, and that's the hardest thing for I think all of us to do, right, is looking in that mirror and saying, I was the reason for this, or I was the reason for that. It's not others, it's me. And that's what real leaders do. They look in the mirror, they take the blame. And that's where I factor in Clark Hunt on all of this, because as hard as it's going to be for Andy, I think Clark's going to have a hard time asking the right questions to Andy Reid this offseason. And I hope he's able to ask those right questions to Andy Reid, because Andy Reid is still, the arguably the greatest coach in NFL history, right? And Clark Hunt has to sit down and be able to have a frank conversation with Andy Reid. Sometimes you have conversations with people and you're like, you know what, I'm just not going to upset the apple cart. I'm not going to ask that question. I'm not going to bother with it. I'm just going to let it go. And then it gets to a head and it turns into a big-time fight that could have been resolved by having a conversation earlier on in your relationship. And I hope for this offseason going in, Clark Hunt is asking Andy Reid the right questions and really making Andy think about what went on this season, because he is the head football coach. And as the owner of this team, I put you in charge. I need to know what went wrong, what we can change, what we couldn't have changed, what needs to be changed, and how we move this thing going forward. And I think they are hard questions that Clark is going to have to ask Andy Reid this year. Like, were you in it this year?
I mean, it's one of those.
Are you in it to go forward with this too? Is a fair question for Andy Reid.
And we know all too well that sometimes the toughest questions are the best questions.
Yes,
right. You just have to, hey, you're fat. Do you need to lose weight? Why? Well, you kind of look bad. Okay, well, that's something that you've got to bring up to somebody. Hey, do you have a problem with this poison? Okay, well, if you do, let's change that. If there was a problem this season, like we mentioned the Chris Jones being offsides, like. Where is that?
Trent Green said it on the broadcast. This is unexcusable to have being lined up offsides, having a timeout, and still lining up offsides. Like that stuff right there, that's a direct reflection on the head coach and the discipline that's lacking on this team right now. And you're right, Dusty. I'm sorry to cut you up, but the best questions are the hardest ones to ask people.
Yeah, it's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's not an easy question to ask somebody. That's a tough question. You have to literally sit there and think about, okay, what's next for me? What's going to be something that's not going to allow me to be here next year, right? Like you might have something that comes up in life, like, Christmas was a failure or something because, something didn't happen with the play. Well, I'm going to make sure that never happens again because we're going to do this differently, right? Mm-hmm. That's just the way things go. And I think when you look at the nucleus that is the front office of Clark, Andy, and Brett, they all three got to get together, and the time is now. And I think that is not an egregious thing to say because there is nothing you are playing for. The only thing that you are really watching right now, at least in my opinion, is what young guys can show something. Like, let Brashard Smith get 15 handoffs, 20 handoffs.
I'd love to see him catch some passes out of the backfield, too.
That, too. What can Gelati show you? Like,
he was good yesterday.
Was a monster. You'd love to see a big guy interception, You see that. What can Christian Fulton show you? What can Noah Williams show you? What can these guys that you put some trust in that you haven't really given the full opportunity? And can Gardner Minshew anchor the quarterback position? Because some of those guys we mentioned earlier are still under contract, like Jameis Winston and Mac Jones. Like you'd have to make a trade for those guys. And do you really want to trade for a backup quarterback? Or do you want to see that this guy can handle it a little bit at a time before Patrick Mahomes is in fact ready to come back? And not only that, but the way the season is ending, you're going to have a little bit of an easier schedule next year. Plus you have tons of time to get your mental right, to get your physical right, to get your mind right on what you need to do. Because as Dana Hughes had said in the past in interviews, a lot of teams in the past couple of years have drafted to kind of stop the Chiefs.
That's right.
And they're doing that, right? Like the Chargers have done that. The Broncos have done that. The Raiders, I don't know what the hell they're doing. But again, you look at the two competitive teams in your division, the Chargers and the Broncos. The Chargers revamped their defense, and they got rid of Russell Wilson, and they drafted Bo Nix. And Bo Nix looked good yesterday against a really good team in Green Bay. All credit to them. They are zagging where you are zigging, if that makes sense. And now what you have to do for the first time in 8 years is you've got to react to somebody else now instead of having other people react to you.
And I think also, too, this offseason, Clark Hunt probably needs to take, a lesson from Josh Klingler at the end of every KU basketball season. He'd go up to all these guys. Do you have a decision to make? Do you have a decision to make? And I think that's the question that Clark Hunt needs to ask Andy Reid this offseason. Do you have a decision to make? Are you ready to go? Are you going to be ready to go for a few more years at this thing? Or have you reached the end of your line as well? And it's okay. If Andy got done with this season and went, Clark, I'm exhausted. I mean, and you guys, Spexton now for Mac who had to run home, but I look at both of you and I'm like, did you guys think that Andy was, 100% this year? I mean, I don't think he was. I think he just looked tired. He looked exhausted, at times made some really bad decisions. And if I'm Clark Hunt, that's my biggest question. Are you ready to keep doing this? Are you ready to keep going and driving forward? Because I don't need you just for one more year. I need you for a few more years now with this Patrick Mahomes injury. How are you feeling from a physical, a mental, all of that standpoint? Are you ready to keep going? Because I just looked at Andy Reid and I could just see a guy who's tired, man. And that's normal and that's okay. And that's expected after all of this success. Like, everything was so heavy on these guys for so many years, and you can just kind of feel, I think there's a sense of relief more than anything right about now.
No doubt about it, because, I think that, and you start with the trickle-down effect, because they'll have that meeting, right, with those three guys. I truly believe that. I think Donovan will be in that meeting as well. The big honchos, right, the guys that wear the Blazers on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
Those guys will have that conversation. Then Andy has to go to his guys and say, not just players, but coaches that will be here or won't be here. And it's like, hey, we're moving on. Unfortunately, this is the way it goes, right? Like, the Jets just fired Steve Wilks.
Oh, they did?
Defensive coordinator
That
out.
guy, have you looked at his, I told you to look at his resume a couple of weeks ago, right? Spectre, have you ever looked at the resume of Steve Wilks?
No.
Why would you? Do it right now. Pull up the resume of Steve Wilks. It is the most unbelievable coaching resume that I think you will ever see. That guy is at a different location every single year and has been that way for at least the last 25 years. Every single year he goes somewhere different, and every single year he continues to get a job.
And I don't know if that happens in the Kansas City Chiefs organization, but I guarantee you that when things happen like this, drastic moves happen.
Yes, and there will be drastic moves. There will be
100%.
coaching changes on this roster, whether guys decide to leave by themselves, guys decide to retire, guys are asked to leave. I think there will be some changes on this coaching staff. How many? I don't know. Will they be drastic? Probably. Will Andy Reid be part of it? I would expect so. But again, I mean, that's a fair question if you're the owner to ask a guy, like who's been around the block for as long as he has and has had this much success. You still got what it takes? You still good? You still want to do this? Because, it's 70 years old. Maybe he's like, you know what? I'm good.
Right. I mean,
and if he decided he was done, I would have a parade for Andy Reid.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we'd spend an entire show having people on and saying thank you. But again, I think there's also Andy's cut from that tree. That is, you find things better than how you leave things better the way you found them. That was always my dad's mantra at the lake. Like, hey, when we come here, if there's a quarter tank of gas left in the tank, we fill it up. Leave it better than what you found it, and hopefully that trickles down. I don't think Andy Reid goes away this year. I think he's got, 2 years left on his contract?
I think 3
years
now,
left.
Yeah.
He's 67, so right at the age of 70, maybe that's the point. Hey, I'm going to bring this back. We're going to revamp things, and we'll see where we go from here. Get some new voices, get some new attitude, get some new sort of perspective on what you want to do moving forward.
I mean, you could have 3 new coordinators next season.
Yeah, I think you could. And you could have 5 new, coaching changes outside of just coordinators,
right,
from receiver coach to running back coach to quarterback coach.
I mean, there could be
everybody.
a drastic revamping of this coaching staff.
Sometimes the end is, kind of the end of one road leads to another. And maybe, I know they always say the grass isn't always greener, but sometimes it is. And that's just a fact. So we'll come back on the other side.
Or you just need a change, and that's okay too.
That's fair. Come back on the other side. We'll do a Bria Show of the Weekend here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is Chris Jones, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is that holiday travel season, and you know what that means. Nasty weather here in Kansas City. So you want your car to be safe and protected while you're flying out of town, right? So that means you have to park with my friends over at Park and Go. And these guys do an unbelievable job. You will not be sorry this holiday season when you are parking with my friends over at Park and Go. Make your reservation at bookparkandgo.com and prepay. That's when you save all the money, right? So now you've got your spot reserved, a covered one at that, and you've paid less than anybody else because you prepaid. Then you show up on the day of your flight, you give them your reservation number, and they will direct you right to that covered parking spot they have reserved for you. And in seconds, the van meets you and takes you right to the airport terminal. You're not running around the lot hoping somebody shows up. Nope, they're there right away for you. And when you get back, they take all that stress away. Just grab your bags, walk outside, and there's the van. Jump on it, and it's right back to your spot at Park and Go. So do what we did and join their frequent parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at West Shore Home are ready for you to give them a call and say, hey, come out to my house and do some remodeling. And they've got great incentives going on right now as well. And at West Shore Home, they know that remodeling doesn't have to be stressful. And they prove that it doesn't have to be stressful. With real-time scheduling and precision scan-to-plan accuracy, they make your remodel fast, easy, and convenient. That's why hundreds of thousands of homeowners have trusted West Shore Home to transform their bathrooms, windows, and doors. And you're thinking, how do I know if I need new windows? Well, if you walk by them and there's air blowing through and it's freezing, yeah, you need new windows. Same thing goes for your door. And for your bathroom, just look around and go, yeah, I'm tired of the way this looks. I'm going to call West Shore Home and have them out to do my bath remodel. Right now, when you buy a full bath remodel, you'll get a second shower for free and lock in an extra $500 off just for listening to the show. But you need to schedule now at westshorehome.com/fan. That's westshorehome.com/fan. It's West Shore Home.
O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
It's the season to come together over your holiday favorites at Starbucks. Warm up with a creamy caramel brulee latte, get festive with an iced gingerbread chai, or share a velvety peppermint mocha. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
You don't need to be a financial MVP right out of the gate. At Main Street Credit Union, we're here to coach you through it. No matter where you're at, lining up for your first play or deep in the game, we'll help you move the ball forward. From building credit to launching a business. Because here, it's not just about money, it's about progress and having a team that's got your back. Learn more at mainstreetcu.org.
Brioche of the weekend.
Big brioche guy.
Love that. Yeah, good take.
That's right. Brioche of the weekend presented by the Sheet Metal Workers Local number 2. Vote for the high school football game of the week, which is, we did all that all season at prepskc.com. And each week the Sheet Metal Workers will give $750 to the winning team's booster club, as we did all season.
Just go to helpmymocanschools.com right now, and if you're with a high school, apply for the $20,000 high school enrichment grant right now. No strings attached. Helpmymocanschool.com, and you could win $20,000 from the Sheet Metal Workers. How about that, huh?
Yeah, British of the weekend, maybe to the Jets fans as they fired their defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes, because the Jets didn't have an interception all season.
Wow.
That was
crazy.
the nail in the coffin for Steve Wilkes.
Yeah.
I'll give mine to Melvin Council of the Kansas Jayhawks. Darren Peterson got hurt once again in a game on the road against the North Carolina Wolfpack, NC State, that is. Melvin Council had, 36 points, was 9 of 15 from 3. The only problem was he couldn't hit free throws down the stretch, which kept that game a little bit in cahoots, you could say, but an overtime victory for the Kansas Jayhawks, as we'll soon but surely be ramping up conference play, which is something that can also get you through the time in which you didn't really think that you'd have to worry about. College basketball, I think, will be more viewed this year in the metro area. I think you will see, obviously, the news of the World Cup, the stadium information, the World Baseball Classic, the Royals moves in the offseason. But Brewers of the weekend, Melvin Council of KU, and also maybe live betting. That was fun for the first time in my life. I was like, all right, KU's down by 8, because I've always seen Carrington, right? He'll send his tweets back when you couldn't bet Missouri, and he'd be like, who's in Kansas right now? I want $100 on KU to win, or who's in Kansas right now? I can put my money on the Chiefs. I finally get to feel that. It was kind of fun to know that, like, and I'm sure the guy that's in here for Mac right now, Steven Spector, can attune to this, because now it's like, well, my first legs parlays are out. What can I do now? Oh, I think KU can win this game. All right, money line and spread. Let's go. Whatever you want to bet. It was a nice feeling. Brewers for the weekend.
When does college basketball start?
Yeah, I see. It's funny he said that, because I got a text from my friend today, Jim Page, right, Viking Jim, and he's a big Missouri fan, and we've been talking about the demise of college athletics for the better part of over a decade now, really when all this kind of crap started with the alignment. And he sends me a picture today of ESPN.com, right, and their website. And I felt like this, but I've never talked about this because who cares? But now that he sent it to me, I'm like, okay, so others realize this. He goes, that right there tells you how much college basketball has fallen. You have to click on more sports to even get the scores now for college basketball. And the ESPN top line, they have the NFL, the NBA, baseball, college football, hockey, soccer, the WNBA, and then more sports. And you have to click under more sports to get to college basketball. So, Steven, it ain't just us. And that's ESPN, who usually pushes the narrative.
Who had the KU game on Saturday night.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they usually push the narrative of games that they're televising to get you to be interested in it, right? They control that narrative, because I tell my friends all the time at ESPN, I'm like, why don't you have the NFL scores on top on Sunday, right? You have the WNBA or the NBA or whatever sports that you are with. You always give them that love. And they're in bed with college basketball. I'm surprised you got to search around for their scores.
Yeah, I mean, Duke plays Lipscomb tomorrow night. Come on.
Huge.
Yeah,
big game. Yeah.
Huge.
Throw the record books out.
10 years ago, you'd have been sitting there in your Duke underwear watching that game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When this whole Patrick Mahomes run started, Duke was my favorite team.
Yeah, that is true. My brioche of the weekend goes to my friends and family, the Turks, for having us out for their Hanukkah every year that they do, and including us and making us part of their family for 30 years. And I appreciate all of that. Ralph and Nina, I love you guys to death, and I appreciate everything you do for my family. And so happy Hanukkah, everybody, to those who are celebrating. Last night started it, and we got 8 crazy nights of gifts and all that kind of good stuff right into the Christmas season and all of that. So, we're all down in the dumps and whatnot about the way that this kind of football season ended. Not the fact, I don't think that they missed the playoffs as much as the injury, and now next season's in jeopardy as well. But just remember, man, we've had a good 10-year run of this, and it's been pretty spectacular. It stinks in the moment, but the big picture should tell you, man, your brioche of the last decade has been what the Chiefs have given us to root for. It's been awesome.
Speaking of ESPN, maybe you agree or disagree on this Overreaction Monday, because we were talking about this a little bit earlier. This comes from Unsportsmanlike Radio of ESPN. We were just talking about ESPN. If Buffalo doesn't win the Super Bowl this year, it's a disgrace, says, what is his name? Evan Cohen. He says, if the Bills lose to anyone, everyone but Josh Allen will be gone.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the second part. Yeah, I would be doing the same thing, but I don't know if it's a disgrace to who.
You know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
they should. They're the favorites.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
a
disgrace. You still have to win, 3 football games.
Yeah. Because it's interesting you guys ask if college basketball has started yet, facetiously, but also, when your team's out, we haven't been in this situation,
I know, it
right?
sucks.
Do you root for another team to win? Do you start kind of being like, I'll get behind this team to see what they can do?
I don't know that answer. I mean, I would like to see Buffalo win it just because I want to see what happens in that city if they win it.
What about McVay's story?
Love it.
If he wins another one, he would have gone to 3 Super Bowls and won 2. Where does that catapult him in the ranking of coaches?
I mean, it's up there, yeah.
What can Sean Payton do in Denver? Obviously, we don't want to see Denver do anything, but you think of storylines outside of, like Sean Payton would have a second ring with a second team. Mm-hmm. That would put him catapult up there, right?
That's his second era, kind of, too,
right?
Yeah.
You look at teams like Seattle, right? You look at teams that maybe beginning of the season you weren't looking at, but now you don't have a bias sort of lean. So, do you kind of just go into baseball mode in Kansas City, or do you start watching more outside of the box that is Kansas City?
I think there's just a lot of off-the-field stuff to talk about that's more compelling than anything that's going to take place on the field, on the court, on the ice, or anywhere when it comes to the Chiefs. So we still have all of that. But I just want to see Buffalo win. Last year, that stadium, Josh Allen, I think everybody pretty much likes. I think Buffalo is a city very much like Kansas City. I do not want New England winning this thing, okay? I see these blowhards in New England already talking about how they're back and the Chiefs are dead and all this nonsense. I'm not interested in New England winning. I'm definitely not interested in seeing Aaron Rodgers win another championship. I'm just trying to go through the list of teams that are out there. There's
not interested in Philly going back to back.
Not interested in Philadelphia doing
So we're all rooting
thing.
for the Rams and Stafford and McVay.
Yeah, in the NFC, you know what? Maybe Kyle Shanahan goes a little bit further this year. Who knows what happens there? I'd like to see him realize some success with all the injuries that they've had. They've done some good things, but more from the AFC side of things. If it ain't Buffalo coming out of the AFC, I don't want to see Denver. I don't want to see New England. I mean, who else is who? You don't want to see the Chargers. I don't care about Jacksonville enough.
You root for the Ravens to maybe make a name. Make a stake up.
Maybe a little bit to give somebody in there. But I mean, how are the networks feeling? No Lamar, no Patrick, no Joe Burrow in the playoffs. I mean, they've got to be, crapping their pants, so to speak, going, what are we going to do? Are people going to watch this thing? Everybody roots for these big, bad teams to lose, the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. And then you get to the Sweet 16, you're like, I don't know any of these teams. I want to see the big boys in there. And I think that's kind of where we are in the playoffs. Everybody root for the demise of the Chiefs. But by God, the Chiefs made the playoffs so much fun for everybody.
Yeah, we'll be watching a lot of rehab videos, I think, from Mahomes and Bobby doing their thing. You got Stranger Things coming out, right?
Yeah.
I said this earlier, Big Boss was in the lobby, and I said, if you were ever going to have a year where it wasn't going to work out for you, this would have been the year. World Cup, off-season moves for the Royals that we've seen them be active. Obviously, Michael Garcia got an extension. You saw them make a move yesterday for Angel Zerpa, who the Brewers think could be a starter.
I'm sorry. What did you do? I didn't see that part. Are you kidding me?
There's talks that maybe he could be.
So could I.
Right. And so there is a lot of that to fall back on. But again, World Cup, we'll have everything here for you. We'll have, conference play is going to happen. You're going to be more maybe in tune to college basketball than you were in the past, because a lot of people would say, well, I'll get into college basketball once the Chiefs are done in February. Mm-hmm. And by that point, it's 3 weeks and March is here. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's how we do it. Now you'll have that opportunity to kind of have your ears and eyes to other things than a football season. Maybe it's good for everybody to take a little mental break.
It is. I think it's great for everybody to have that break, but it doesn't mean the league's going to stop having news and the Chiefs aren't going to stop having news. And just when you think, we got some time, coaches fired, players traded, it's going to be a wild offseason.
No doubt about it. Hey, don't forget, go do something nice for somebody. You never know. It could change their day, their week, their month, their year. It's simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay kind, stay safe, stay groovy. Coming up next, Cody Gold and Drew from 10 to 2.
This is voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us, and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
We love entertaining during the holidays, but we also love spending time with friends and family. That's why we're letting Hy-Vee do everything, because Hy-Vee has convenient pre-made holiday meal packs for any size gathering. Made fresh and ready-to-heat menu favorites like succulent turkey, honey-glazed spiral ham, or prime rib, plus savory sides, rolls, and a choice of dessert. And don't forget the wine and spirits department. So pick up your meal the day before the holiday and then just heat and serve on the big day. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take the credit, only at Hy-Vee.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Gates Barbecue's distinctive flavors will make your holiday meals unforgettable. Spice up your holiday table with Gates sauces and seasonings. Prepare your meats, potatoes, and vegetables with Gates seasonings and top it off with one of the 5 Gates sauces. While watching a game or your favorite holiday movie, sprinkle Gates original seasoning on a bowl of hot buttered popcorn. So good. You can buy Gates at your neighborhood grocer or online at gatesbarbecue.com. Gates Barbecue, still doing it the old-fashioned way. Thanks with love.
Right now, MyLowe's Pro Rewards members get 500 points for logging into their Lowe's app for the first time. Download the app and take advantage of all your Pro benefits today. Valid 12/1/25 to 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From sportswear to suits and sports coats and sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location.